Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Week 1 live stream. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia. There is Andrew Erickson, the Undertaker himself, and it's all of you. Happy Week 1, everybody. We're here to answer your questions, to get your lineup set, and also want to wish Debro a happy birthday. Today's Debro's birthday. Andrew Erickson, can you imagine? It's his birthday, and he gets football all at the same time. Seems like a pretty good day. How much beard cream do you think he's getting for his birthday?
Going to be drowning in the
Just
beard
drowning.
cream. So
Dripping
concerned. Hopefully he has his life
cream.
jacket. He'll be good to go. So
there you go. All right, everybody. So again, if you've got questions, we've got answers, drop them in the chat here. Of course, we're going to be here every single Sunday starting 10 a.m. Eastern. Some days with some of those other games. I mean, some weeks with the Londons, the Germanys, all those different places. We're going to be here at some different times too to make sure you get your lineup set ahead of time. So keep an eye on that schedule. Follow us on social media at Fantasy Pros, and make sure you're able to join us for those too, because you don't want to miss out on all the amazingness. Let's start right with a question here. Juan Fernando wants to know about CMC. Yes, CMC right now with the calf and the Achilles, which was fun news that we picked up. Didn't hear about the Achilles until this week. So that would have been good information yesterday, maybe, or a few other days before drafting him. But let's talk about it. Any concern about Christian McCaffrey? I mean, he's playing, you're starting him. There's no question about it. But I guess the real question is more like Mason. Mason's out there in 60% of leagues roster right now, so he's available in 40. I'd be stashing him now instead of paying fab for him. God forbid anything happens Monday night, or just as an insurance policy. Where are you at with that right now with the Christian McCaffrey, San Fran RB situation, Erickson?
yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Mason seems like the guy that you want to handcuff as Christian McCaffrey's direct backup. But I will say, Joe, I know that a lot of us weren't, especially at Fantasy Pros, you, me, Debro. I don't think any of us had McCaffrey as our number one running back because we were concerned about the touches coming over from last year, 417 touches at his age. Look, I'm just saying, you know who else plays on Monday night? Breece Hall. It may not be too late to make that trade. Take McCaffrey, trade him to try to get Breece Hall. Breece Hall was my RB1.
You think people would still do that? They would
People
make that
still
trade?
I mean, people drafted McCaffrey number one overall, so I don't think it's out of the range that maybe you could pull it off still. If people are worried, again, McCaffrey, if he's healthy for week one, yeah, you're starting this guy, and he should be productive. But
spicy right out of the gate. I love that about you. Also, speaking of spicy, make sure you drop your comments below here and join us, because why? Trophy Smack Wall Smack is going out there. Look at these. These are so cool. You get to put these in your woman cave, your man cave. You can put them in your bedroom for all I care, wherever you want. But these Wall Smack pieces from Trophy Smack, this wall art here. You see the Mahomes one here in the graphic. Very cool. To subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, ring the bell till it goes ding, and comment below. That's it. That's all you got to do. And somebody is going to be winning that. So very exciting times here. Let's get back to the questions here. Austin wants to know PPR, Pitts or Njoku. I know Pitts is not 100% healthy, but Njoku has to play with Deshaun Watson, who typically does not recognize that David Njoku actually exists. So where are you going?
I'm playing Kyle Pitts in the Arthur's. If there's ever a week where Kyle Pitts, if there's ever a week to bet the anytime touchdown, Kyle Pitts is against Arthur Smith.
Bro, this is the Falcons revenge game, not the Arthur Smith revenge game. It's
the Arthur
Drake London.
Smith. It's a lot of revenge.
By the way, speaking of that game, Justin Fields is going to be playing today, which I know you had to be laughing this morning, right? Seeing that news after all the stuff going on here and all the conversation you and I had in our flex league together, and how early I took Justin Fields and made everybody work. It's week 1. I'm starting Justin Fields, and I'm pretty happy about it. Like I don't care what the circumstances are. What does that do though to the offense, in your opinion? Let's not forget, Cole Kmet was a tight end 1 last year with Justin Fields. Also, Justin Fields had made DJ Moore a 1,300-yard wide receiver. So it's not like Justin Fields is bereft of talent. If anything, from a fantasy perspective, I'm actually kind of excited about him playing in this game in the Dome. If you're in a super flex, would you be starting Justin Fields today? Because I am. I have him as a top 20 quarterback.
Yeah, I think that you would be playing him because he has the rushing, right? There's gonna be a couple drives in this game where it's ugly. He's gonna take some sacks because that's what Justin Fields does, but he's gonna make plays with his legs. He's going to rocket the ball downfield to George Pickens. Like you said, you're hoping that we get 2023's version of the Bears with Cole Kmet and DJ Moore in this Steelers offense between George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth. There's no other pass catcher you're going to see the ball go to, maybe including the running backs. So I think that it's maybe a downgrade potentially for Warren and Najee catching passes out of the backfield because he's just going to run. So I would keep that in mind, maybe downgrade the running backs a little bit, especially Jalen Warren, who kind of lukewarm on anyway this week, given that he's coming off a hamstring, but now you're factoring that Russ isn't going to play probably. That makes Jalen Warren probably someone I'm almost trying to shy away from. Again, I think it's boom or bust with these receivers, with George Pickens in particular. But if you want upside in your flex, I think Pickens fits.
Ferguson or Hill? That's from Frederick Cash. So who do you want to play at tight end this week?
I'm going to play Jake Ferguson.
Ferguson it is. There we go. Let's go to average SIGs. Full PPR, flex one. Zach Moss, Brian Thomas, Gabe Davis. Now, look, with everything that's going on in Cincinnati, I imagine the running backs get elevated a little bit in ranks today by a lot of people. But I know Brian Thomas is a guy that you're in on, and you did wear a Gabe Davis jersey on the BP show the other day. So I don't want to speak for you, but who are you playing? Brian Thomas, Gabe Davis, or Zach Moss?
I'm going to play Zach Moss. Just play the game total. They're at home. He's got a lot of red zone equity. So
it's so great to see all of you in the chat, by the way. Excited for week one. I want everybody out there in your comments today. What game are you most excited to see today? Everybody's got their own team, whatever. I want to know what game that's not your team that you want to see today. I'm excited about listening to Tom Brady call a football game today. I'm excited about the Atlanta game today with Pittsburgh. I want to watch that one, especially now the Fields is playing. A lot of fun games here. I want to see who the Seahawks might be offensively now. That's going to be a lot of games. Again, drop your comments below. Tell me, what game do you want to watch the most? Maybe you have the most fantasy shares in. Yeah, Erickson, go ahead.
Which game is Brady calling on Fox?
Brady is calling the Cowboys game actually today. Cowboys. So if you have to watch
Browns.
Deshaun Watson, can you imagine Tom Brady breaking down Deshaun Watson's quarterback play? Oh yeah. Give me a
we can
nice
get some.
beverage.
We're gonna get that game is gonna be ugly. Brady.
Tom Brady's like, how am I not still playing in the NFL?
He's like, I'm better than both these quarterbacks.
All right, Ronnie's got a question, and it might get broed. Ronnie Farfaglia, Brian Thomas or Debo, bro?
Oh, you gotta play Debo. I love Brian Thomas, but no, not over Debo, especially with Ayuk on a snap count. Yeah.
Bro, when did you take Debo Samuel? What, your second, third pick? What are we doing here? ADP still matters right now, unless Debo is hurt, and he's not. And plus, the Jets play a lot of too high, which means it's going to be a lot more Debo Samuel in this game than Ayuk anyway, theoretically, even if everything was fine with Ayuk and it was like a normal offseason. Come on, people. There's a reason why, you drafted Debo Samuel as your, third player. And it's not to look at Brian Thomas now in week one and make that kind of stupid decision. Even if Brian Thomas outscores him, is bad fantasy. Don't you do it, Ronnie. Bro, I can't believe it. We didn't even get, how many minutes? 10 minutes into the show, we got the first bro of the Sunday.
Maybe he meant to type in Ayuk instead of Debo. See, that's one I could get around.
I'm still playing Ayuk too. It's still the 49ers. I'm still playing Ayuk too.
Dude, you're someone that is fading the 49ers. You seem to like them a lot.
I'm fading the 49ers in week 2 on.
Fair.
This Jets one, please forget it, bro. I told you my survivor pool of the week. I'm picking, I told you. And Erickson and I have a side bet. So watch Betting Pros during the week, because we're not going to get an answer to it on the Monday show. No. So we're going to have to wait till you, me, and Terrell are back on Thursday, which is perfect. Like that's the chef's kiss of that moment, is that we have to wait all the way to Thursday to get the payoff for that. Literally. I want the payoff to happen during that show too, whoever wins. All right. Trevor Soldier wants to know Dalton Schultz or Pat Freiermuth on a full point PPR. Now look, Schultz is playing in the higher total game. That's a good case, but Freiermuth again with Fields, I feel pretty good about that one. I feel good about either of these guys. I don't think there's a wrong answer here, but Erickson, who would you prefer to play?
I'm going with Pat Freiermuth because I'm chasing the training camp buzz with Freiermuth because we've seen 2 games play already this year, right?
Yes.
Who are the tight ends that had kind of standout performances, whether it become of usage, likely got a lot of bump during the training camp. And then Tucker Kraft. I was beating the drum for Tucker Kraft. He's tight end 1. He's tight end 1. And what do you know? He played almost all the snaps.
You can throw that drum in the ocean now that Malik Willis is going to be playing for the next 6 weeks.
Again, it doesn't matter. But I think that it's important that we're seeing these training camp reports, specifically at tight end, carry over into week 1. And so Freiermuth just signed the extension. They're really excited. They're excited about him. And like you said, Fields is more likely to pass the ball over the middle of the field. than Russell Wilson is. So I like Freiermuth.
Eric Helge wants to know standard league, start Ferguson or Freiermuth this week. So another group of tight ends, a lot of tight end questions today.
Yeah.
Freiermuth, agreed. Okay, Mark Pelletier, Neighbors or Zamir White at the flex?
Neighbors.
I think Zamir White's the safer points, Mark. So if you're already like up on your opponent, I would just take Zamir White, put him in your lineup and set it and forget it. But Neighbors has more of the upside in the PPR. Christopher Porano, Joe P looking so handsome with this. That's right, because I'm coming straight over from FST, the TV show. There it is, which reminds me, I got to go and change the screen. I just realized that my screen's not even right. That's what's happening here. Let's go to Yusef's question. Cincinnati defense or the Tampa defense? Answer that. Be loquacious as I change my screen.
I think for me, I'm just going to take the Bengals defense. I think that's the safe play. They're playing the Patriots, not afraid of their offense. I think that you have a pretty safe floor with them, whereas Jaden Daniels can do a little bit more with his running ability. So, huzzah!
See, week one, still working out the kinks. I got to go from one show to another. Look at that. Doesn't that look, that looks much better. Look at that. Fantasy Pros Football Podcast. That's what we're doing here today. See, you think the offenses are going to be shaky. Look at us out of the gate too, wrong graphic up there, but I am at least dressed to impress. Every Sunday morning, I'm ready here for this. All right, let's go to Javier's question here. Drop Shaheed or Saints for the Jets defense and Fant or Cade Otton. Yeah. So Shaheed or Saints for the Jets defense. So I would drop the Saints defense for the Jets defense and just take my lumps in week one. And just play the rest of the year.
I would just play the Saints defense. They're playing they're playing the Panthers.
I understand, but the Jets defense the rest of the year, you don't want that defense like in fantasy?
I don't lock him.
Would you drop Shaheed for the Jets defense and then turn around next week and just churn and burn the Saints for somebody else in the wire?
No, I don't want to have two defenses. I don't want to roster two defenses. Let's take one and move on. It's defense, right? I don't think it makes
sense. Fant or Cade Otton? That's the next
I will play Cade Otton.
Okay. Sean Donahue, is Chase out? Flex one full PPR, Pickens, Warren, Chase Brown. Right now, we're still waiting on news, I believe. Since we started, I haven't seen anything with Chase. Have you seen any updates?
So, the biggest update, the latest update we had was yesterday he's basically questionable because of rest, which means he's like restless of not getting a new contract. And then he got put on because he's ill, sick of not being paid. So
I'm sick. I'm sick to death of not seeing enough zeros in this contract. That's what I'm saying.
Came down with a classic case of I need a new contract itis.
Yeah. Oh, my hand's cramping. I can't sign. I can't. Oh, it hurts. Oh, I gotta drop the pen. That's too much. I don't know why he talks like that.
But of those three players, Chase Brown, Pickens, and Warren, again, I talked about Warren. Maybe it's his matchup I don't love as much with Fields. So I think I just roll with Pickens and take the upside.
Pickens, baby. Let's go. It's in the range of outcomes. Shout out to Derek Brown for the range of outcomes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, D-Bro.
He's still with us, don't worry.
I don't know why I did that. But he's not with us here today on this stream. So
he's in the chat, I think. He should be.
He should be in the chat. He should be doing something.
That's his responsibility, even on his birthday.
But imagine a world where Steelers win, Fields plays great. What's that conversation next week? Like, you're not going to play Fields? You're going to go back to Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson is going to be put on injured reserve, or he's going to get cut or traded because he's not going to want to be the backup. So he probably
you know who could use a quarterback? The Green Bay Packers could use a quarterback right about now. If I'm the Green Bay Packers, beep, bop, boop, boop, boop. Hello.
Yeah, no, they are in trouble. Yeah.
And it's not like it's
Blake Willis is not
in conference problem to make that trade. I'm Russell Wilson. I'm like, hey, send me to Green Bay. Let me go do something there behind Jordan Love for a couple of weeks and kind of reestablish my value. I'm just saying, keep an eye out. That could be fun. Man, it's the Wild West and it's only week one. By the way, what do you do here with that Jordan Love injury? It's going to crush all my my Christian Watson shares. It's going to crush probably some of my Jaden Reed. I imagine a little bit more volume for Jacobs, but Marshawn Lloyd is only rostered in 60% of leagues. I saw that this morning. I know he already played this past week, but he's not going to have any stats. Or he didn't play, but the game already played, so you can't pick him up now. But I'd be stashing him because you're going to have to rely heavily on that run game. Would you be stashing him this coming week in waivers too?
No. No, I wouldn't.
What?
I look. I'm not as big as on Marshawn Lloyd as everybody else. I just I don't. He's buried on the depth chart. Like when are you going to actually figure out a game where he's going to play without
He's
a
behind Jacobs.
He's behind Wilson.
Oh,
he's been
you
injured
want to add
all
Wilson
of
over
training
him?
camp. I think it's a long road for Marshawn Lloyd to finally get into the lineup where you feel good about him. And why are we excited about playing a Packers running back for the next month? They're going to have bad quarterback play. I don't know.
Again, just stashing for volume. And if that volume takes its toll on Josh Jacobs, then it's next.
I feel like there are better stashes right now that can help your team. Like what, like Jordan Mason or Marshawn Lloyd, right? It's like Jordan Mason.
So. McCord Farm Wife. Weird screen name. Okay. Fields or Prescott today? Ooh.
Not playing Dak on the road. This is just, again, it's as easy as it seems. Just take Dallas with the points. This game is just going to be weird.
No, wait, in your ranks right now, you have elevated Fields above Dak Prescott? I haven't done that. I don't have the guts to do that one yet.
When I did my early 2024 rankings before the Bears got rid of Fields, Justin Fields was, I think, my quarterback 6. Because when he runs, he scores fantasy points. So I get the other things of his passing game are not great, but this offense with Arthur Smith was designed for Justin Fields as a rushing mobile quarterback. We've seen Arthur Smith make Marcus Mariota a good fantasy quarterback at times to score fantasy points. So I think Fields is going to be set up really well.
By the way, on DraftKings right now, you're getting him at 5,000, Justin Fields today. So needless to say, I've got some shares of Justin Fields going on. All right, let's get to another question here. Let's go to Ryan Moore's question. Daniels or Burrow? Now, in the situation here where we're expecting Chase to play, I would still go with Joe Burrow, but I understand this question. Like, this is not a bad question at all. Would you pivot to Daniels in the circumstance of where we're at here with the Cincinnati Bengals offensive weapons remaining?
I think I would. I think I like the floor of Daniels a little bit more. So, because you got the rushing,
right.
and
he's gonna rush. He is gonna rush. I'm a mobile quarterback too. I would say maybe not out there in space, but I move well in the pocket.
That's good.
I still move well in the pocket. By the way, my Eagles got their first game yesterday. Shout out to my Eagles, my flag football team. Good job, kids. 12U Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. It's a good showing. 23-0 at the half there. We put up a hurting. All right, let's get to the next question here on the stream. Again, if you've got questions, we've got answers. Drop them below. Make sure you subscribe to the FantasyPros YouTube channel. If you haven't already, what the hell are you doing with your time? Do that. And also, don't forget about our BP contest that we've got going on right now. So over on Betting Pros, there's weekly and monthly prizes. You can join the group for free. Betting Pros app, download the bad boy, or go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. You don't even have to make bets, just make picks. Enter your picks by syncing them or using the quick pick feature on the Betting Pros app, and you have a chance to win, again, weekly and monthly prizes. So if you're somebody who doesn't like to bet, okay, come make picks, have some fun on the app. Let it inform your fantasy a little bit. If you're somebody who does like to wager, well, go make your picks worth something and get some free stuff. That's the way to do it. Again, bettingpros.com/NFL contest, or go to the community tab and look for NFL contest on the Betting Pros app. All right, let's get to some more questions here. Andrew Erickson, T. Grew, PPR, Dobbins or Charbonnet as the second flex spot. Oh, in a tough spot with Higgins out. You ain't whistling Dixie, Grew.
You got to play Dobbins. I don't know what Charbonnet's role is going to be. Dobbins, these weeks with a healthy Dobbins are precious. Let's take advantage.
I love a good healthy Dobbins. That's you got to love a good healthy Dobbins. By the way, I think Grew is in the running for who I should be for Halloween this year. I have a very Grew face, just generally speaking. I'd have to shave that day, but all I need is the scarf pretty much. I've already got the nose for it already, I feel like. Maybe Debro.
From Despicable Me, Grew?
Yes, from the Despicable Me series, I think.
And you could have your daughters dress up as the other daughters.
Well, that would be funny, but then also maybe get Debro to be a minion. I think he has a minion quality about him. Don't you think? You put some goggles on him, paint his head yellow.
Well, when he does the market voice, it does sound like the Minions when he's voicing the public perspective on a certain player. That's the Minions. That's the Minion voice.
On his birthday. Oh, I miss you, Debro. Love you. All right. Timothy Clark, Kincaid or Hill? Kincaid.
I gotta get Kincaid.
Bro, come on. It's week 1. Don't do this to me. Timothy.
Taysom Hill's spicy. I get that. But Kincaid, you draft to be tight end. Well, I know everyone's afraid of starting good tight ends now because of Andrews and Kelsey. So, but come on. We're okay.
How about start young, good tight ends? How about that?
Dude, Andrews is not that old. He's 29.
That's old in the NFL.
Kelsey's 35. Yeah, it's old.
That's old in the NFL. It's old. Look, the Andrews situation, he hadn't practiced in weeks. Like, what did you expect? Look, likely he's going to be part of that offense, but I don't think Andrews is going to disappear. I'd be buying him everywhere. And I was somebody fading Andrews anyway. Not like Andrew Erickson, who loved Andrews based on name brand recognition, obviously. Dan F, Najee versus Palmer versus Yoshivas in a PPR flex. PPR, I'm looking at Palmer today. I got to tell you, I like this matchup for Palmer. I think they're going to be behind. Chark went on the pup list, so it's Ladd McConkey and it's Palmer, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm going Palmer. I also need to find these Quentin Johnston under props somewhere. I'm waiting for. I know the books are afraid because they're like, oh no, we can't release these, but they have to because Chark is out. So I haven't seen them yet, but I'm taking the under no matter what.
Mr. Raw Dog, full PPR, Dowdle or McLaughlin.
Yeah, this is like a total upside versus floor play. If I just want bank some points, it'd be McLaughlin, but if I really want to shoot for the moon, it would be Dowdle. So
what would you set that Charger Quentin Johnston number at? Just at
what I set it at?
Yeah,
I would set it at 18.5 yards.
18.5 yards. All right. It's not on here right now.
See, the books are afraid. I would also be afraid to release those lines.
I'm terrified, but it's not here right now. They've taken down everything for this. No, I'm sorry. Wait. I'm in week 2. That's my problem here. I'm so excited already. I'm already into week 2. So what'd you set it at?
18.5 would be my
18.5. All right. Why can't I find this Raiders one here? All right, let's go to another question here and I'll find it. And I want to see what it is. Super Trooper, full PPR, Zamir White or Najee Harris? Interesting.
I would play Najee.
Okay. Why Najee there and not over Palmer?
I thought you said it was over.
No, I know, but Palmer was over Najee before in that last question. So trying to understand the hierarchy of Palmer, Najee, Zamir White, because that's basically the grouping you're giving people.
Oh, so Palmer, I think, can be the number 1 receiver this week with Justin Herbert. He's faced this Raiders defense twice last year. Both games, he went over 77 receiving yards. So I know we like Ladd McConkey a lot, but I think in week 1, Justin Herbert's missed a lot of training camp. I think he's going to lean on his guy, Josh Palmer.
Okay, so the QJ number was 18.5, you said?
That's what I guess, yeah.
23.5 right now.
Let's go under, baby. Under. Smash the under.
The Undertaker strikes again, folks. All right, let's go to MC Jaker. Good morning. Half PPR, flex spot, DJ Moore, Ridley, Sutton, McConkey. Pick one. This is not hard. It's DJ Moore, and it's not even. Look, it's early. It's week 1, and I know you're excited about fantasy football. I'm excited about. We're all excited about fantasy football.
We love it.
I understand. DJ Moore had 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. Caleb Williams is a capable young quarterback. What did Calvin Ridley, Cortland Sutton, or Ladd McConkey, who's a rookie, do anything remotely close to what DJ Moore did last year? And I know if Fields is a different quarterback, I get it. It's still DJ Moore. DJ Moore has multiple fantasy seasons that have been really good. Calvin Ridley hasn't been good in years. Years, plural.
With an S.
Andrew, what are we doing here, folks? What are we doing?
DJ Moore.
Marcus, Wadnick, Neighbors, Godwin, Pittman, choose 2. Now, this is a good question. Neighbors, Godwin, Pittman, choose 2.
I think I'll go with Neighbors and Pittman.
I need a sedative. This is week 1. Week 1, we're doing this. Sal Bakri, Kyron Williams needs to be discussed ASAP. Okay. Erickson, discuss. Right now.
It's week 1. Now we're going to talk about Kyron Williams.
Now we're going to panic.
Well,
drafted him.
Look, if you drafted him, he's set up good this week. We don't know what the split's going to be like with Blake Corum. I know that the Lions are going to be without DJ Reader in the interior. So if I think the Rams are going to be able to run the football effectively. So that means Kyron's in your lineup. And if he has a good game, I would immediately put him on the trade block and try to sell high. So that's what I would do. I just don't like the long term with Kyron, but week 1, he should be good. He should be a top 10 running back.
For some of you that are trying to start Ladd McConkey over DJ Moore, might I suggest autopilot? Take the start sits out of your hands. Let us do it for you. For the love of God, please download my playbook. Sync your leagues for free. Again, it's free. You could set all your lineups. You have a lineup on ESPN, you got one on CBS, you got one on Yahoo. Guess what? You can set them all in one spot with my playbook. And if you're too busy for start sits or things are going crazy, what you got to do is set it and forget it. Use the autopilot feature among many other features for your waiver wire, for your trades. My playbook, the greatest tool suite in the history of the universe, is at your fingertips, and it's free right now. Download that bad boy or go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook. Please use autopilot if you're considering Ladd McConkey or DJ Moore. Please. All right. I think I'm back. JSum20, half PPR, Devontae Adams or Michael Pittman?
I'm going to go Pittman.
Ooh, spicy.
I like that game environment more.
The game environment is going to be fun. That's another one, like, glue me to the television today. I want to see that one. CSP, Swift or Zamir White in the full point PPR?
Swift.
Henry Villegas, Hubbard or Pollard, RB2, full PPR?
Hubbard for me. I don't like the I don't really like the Titans this week. I know we like the under in that game. So
you like me against the Bears? Titans are going to cover that 4.5. I'm telling you right now.
But do you think they're going to do it because they're going to run the football? I don't know.
No, but I think Tony Pollard is going to catch the football, and I
that's
think
fair. I do like his. Yeah, I like his receptions.
In a full PPR, I'm taking Pollard or Henry. That's what I'm doing. I understand the Hubbard. I get it, but
I think Hubbard could catch passes too. That's the only thing.
He could.
So.
He could, but look, you paid Tony Pollard. You got to get Tony Pollard the football. Sean Perry, Burrow or Daniels? We did this one, didn't we? Daniels for you?
Yes. Yes, Daniels for me. I like
T. Lee, Brian Thomas or Tank Dell in the half-point PPR? Tank Dell.
Tank, like, let the Jaden Reed explosion game be a reminder that just because you only play in 2 and 3 receiver sets, if you're nasty and you're good, you're going to score points.
Nasty.
So Tank Dell.
Nasty boy. He nasty. Kyle Miller, half-point PPR. Javonte Williams or Chase Brown?
Javonte.
Ricky LaFleur. Ricky Lure, PPR full, Singletary, Moss, or Gus Bus?
I'm going to go Zach Moss.
Ooh, I did not expect that. I like
Zach Moss is my classic week one. Week one, that's going to make me feel dumb after fading them in season long. Week one is going to be Zach Moss, Cooper Kupp, all these guys that are healthy and good to go are going to smash. Nico Collins, again, another season long fade. It's probably going to explode this week. So,
well, Nico Collins, you're wrong about. The other two, I think you're right.
I'm going to be wrong probably after week one. I can at least admit that.
Brian Dionysus, Deontay Johnson or Malik Neighbors, and don't bro me, man. All right, Brian, I won't bro you because I understand this question. You've got a safety net of Deontay Johnson and the unknown of Malik Neighbors. I get it. This is not that crazy. Ladd McConkey or DJ Moore is crazy. That's crazy town. Don't bring that stuff here. I'm going to Matumbo that stuff.
It's Neighbors for me.
Neighbors for you. All right. Yeah. Darius Richards, Bowers or Conklin?
I'll roll with Bowers.
I'm worried about the foot issue, but I'm still going to play Bowers there. I am worried about this. The foot issues are a real thing. Aiden Gavin. My dad always said, never trust a guy with 2 first names. Aiden Gavin, drop Charbonnet for Goff. Love was my quarterback. Yes. Do that right now.
Yeah.
100% right now. Do it. Don't wait.
Goff
Be frank. You like a good hot dog? You a hot dog guy, Erickson? Summertime?
I was thinking about hot dogs the other day. I don't know. Haven't had a good one in a while.
That's random.
No, I just think that's funny that you brought it up.
On the grill, I like a good hot dog on the grill all summer long. We do the hot dogs there. But are you a hot dog guy? Like if it's on the grill, you got burgers, you got hot dogs. Are you both or one or the other?
I like both. I do like them on the grill. I remember when I was really young, my parents used to make boiled hot dogs, which I don't know why they would feed me that. It's not good.
It was common in the 90s.
I guess because I'm like, why would I ever boil meat? Unless I'm making a soup or something.
There you go. B Frank wants to know again, Jaden Daniels or Joe Burrow, same thing. You want Jaden Daniels, you want the rushing equity here.
Yeah, look, Joe Burrow, he needs another team that's going to put up points on the board. He needs to have all of his weapons. He doesn't run. So the Bengals aren't going into this matchup thinking, oh, we need to score 30 points to beat the Patriots. They need to score 17 probably to beat the Patriots. So I think it's
would you play Joe Burrow?
Get ready for the Chiefs.
Would you play Joe Burrow over Tua today? I would not.
I would play.
Would you play Trevor Lawrence today?
I would play Lawrence.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
and
think
what about Caleb Williams or Joe Burrow?
I think in that case, I'd still play Burrow. It's his first start, you know.
It is, but he's got, basically the full complement of weapons here. So just it's interesting. I want to take your temperature. That's all. I wanted to see where you're at.
98.6.
I'm good. Look how steady. Trevor Richard, Neighbors or McLaurin. Also a good one here.
Neighbors. I thought you didn't trust guys with two first names.
I don't, but Richard. It's actually Richard, not Rich Art.
Oh,
Richard.
I thought it was. Okay.
It's Rich, or maybe it's Richer. Perhaps it's the French pronunciation. It's Trevor Richer.
I apologize.
Like Ferrero Rocher. I don't know. 1993 wants to know start or bench for the flex. Zamir White, Aaron Jones, Khalil Shakir. You get 2 out of these grouping. 2. Zamir White, Jones, Shakir. I'm taking the RBs here.
I agree. I'm taking the RBs as well.
C Gallo 92, Burrow or Fields. I think we just answered that. It's Fields, and Fields is playing, folks. Newsflash: Fields is playing today. Here's the most interesting part about this. Russell Wilson's like, I can play. And the doctor's like, no, you sit. Kind of interesting.
Mike Tomlin Mike Tomlin can't blow his record as an underdog against the spread. He needs Fields in the
game. Omar AMG, QB slot, Caleb Williams or Geno Smith?
Caleb.
Agreed. Sean Donahue. We already got to Sean's goes. Let's go to Jose Hidalgo. Hey, Joe, from Boundbrook. Look at this. Look, local guy. Not too far from me, right by TD Bank Park. I live about 15 minutes from there. What's up, Jose? Let's go to start B-Rob, Yoshivas, or Coleman. Who do you want to start? I'm starting B-Rob.
Yes.
Half PPR, especially half. Dean Yabs, flex PPR, Javante or Pittman? It's Pittman. Pittman. Don't look back. Dalton Hardedge. I'm a hard edge kind of guy. Pickens or Aaron Jones in the full PPR?
Jones.
Okay. Next one here. Brent Mason, PPR, Ayuk or James Cook?
Cook.
Yes. That's the right answer for 1,000. Christian Chavez. I think it's sad or bad, but here we go. Chase Cup London pick 2. Now, this is a scenario where if you don't want to play, like you're in one of these weird leagues where it's like start 2 wide receivers, there's no flex or something like that, and you can have Cup in London and not play Chase today. This is like the only scenario where I can understand this. You've got 2 elite guys there in Chase. I'm cool with this.
Yeah. I think that's the perfect way to outline it, because it's not as simple as, you just start Chase automatically. Because if, let's say, you drafted Chase and then you drafted 3 more wide receivers, then you have the luxury of, no, I have another my third receiver is really good and it's a good matchup, so I can start him over Chase. So yeah, in most cases, you're going to start Chase, but in this particular one, London and Cup are definitely great alternatives in week 1 to Chase.
Again, if you're just joining us here for the stream, we want to know what game has your focus today. Forget your fandom. I want to talk from a fantasy perspective. What game do you want to watch the most? Maybe you got a lot of players in it. Maybe you just want to see what happens with one of these new quarterbacks in new places. Is it one of the rookies you want to see? Whatever it is, tell us what you want, what you're looking for the most in week 1. What game has your attention? I want to know about it. Let's get to the next question here, which is Edward's question. Drop Dowdle or McLaughlin for Mason. I would not drop Dowdle. I think that's a bad idea. But if you have CMC, which he does not, but he's not strong at running back, would you drop McLaughlin for Mason? That's an interesting one.
So the thing with McLaughlin is, and I made this point because he's come up, I know a lot of people have drafted him, obviously, because we like him a lot. But I do think that
I don't know who this we is you speak of, but continue.
I mean, I liked him. Debro likes him, regardless.
Yeah, you guys also liked Pitts last year. That didn't work out very well.
What do you have against McLaughlin?
The Denver Broncos offense is boring to me.
I mean, if he's going to get 10 targets a game.
How often are you going to start Julian? Here's a question. How often this year are you going to start Julian McLaughlin?
That's what I was getting to. So I think if he's a bench stat, if you're just looking for a stash on your bench, I think Mason is better because McLaughlin is break glass. I need someone to play in my PPR league as a flex play, or my running back got hurt. Because I think even if Javante were to suffer an injury, I think you'd see Estime take a bit larger role on early downs, and McLaughlin would his role would stay the same, third downs, catching passes out of the backfield. So I think he has a floor every single week. He's going to give you points, but I think the ceiling is more with a guy like Mason, where obviously if McCaffrey misses time, Mason would be a top 24 running back every single week. So I would drop McLaughlin to pick up Mason in this case. And I also want to make we got a report from Ian Rappaport just recently that Zeke and Rico Dowdle are expected to split carries today. Dalvin Cook is not expected to play. So,
no, duh. Like this, the Dalvin Cook thing drove me nuts, man. People rushing around picking up Dalvin Cook. What are you doing? Was he not done and dusted last year?
I was not one of those people, so I feel good about that.
I was also not one of those people, but like, if you're one of those people, stop. Look, I mean, come on. If he was any good, why wouldn't he have been signed by many of the other teams that needed running back help already this offseason?
Didn't you see him with the medicine ball? Dude, I feel like that's the only, whenever I see highlight videos of like older running backs, that's all they're doing is the medicine ball.
Why is it like the 20s where like using a medicine ball at all?
Well,
Like,
they're just trying to get that ripped core with the oblique muscle. Just like,
yeah, because so that doesn't
yoked.
Right. So they don't have an oblique pull in the first week, right? Because that never happens either. Man, I can't believe how salty I am, and it's only the first week of the season. This is going to be a good year, folks. Don't miss this. This is going to be must-see television. All right, let's go to Gary Chung. Gary from Hong Kong joining us. Yeah, Gary. I don't know. What time is it in Hong Kong? I have no idea. Google that, Erickson.
I don't know.
Been a subscriber for 3 seasons. Start Cooper, Shaheed, or Demario Douglas. I'm starting Amari Cooper here, Gary.
Yes.
That's
Just like, every time, whenever we doubt Amari Cooper, these are the games when he scores 30, and we don't know why. He just does. Again, it's a revenge game against Dallas. Let's go.
That's not a revenge game. Who can have revenge for getting paid millions of dollars? That's the thing, right? Dude, revenge is like when somebody really insults you, or, revenge games are, to me, the ones where somebody didn't believe in you and cut you or whatever it was.
They did trade Amari Cooper for a 5th round pick.
That's fine. But that's where Dallas was at the time, just saying. All right, let's go to another one here. G Wiz 1978, Kyler Murray or Anthony Richardson. A full point again. PPR doesn't matter unless a quarterback is throwing it to themselves. G Wiz.
Man, why do you have these 2 quarterbacks?
Why do you have these 2 quarterbacks?
Number one, I mean, maybe it's a keeper league, whatever. I'm gonna play Richardson.
Okay, but yeah,
I would, and then trade one of them. Like, you don't
trade one of them.
Or I mean, I guess Richardson. Sure. I guess like if you're concerned if he gets banged up. I mean, both guys are not the healthiest, so I guess that makes sense long term to have both of them. But yeah, this week
I'm imagining what happened is G Wiz got a discount on Richardson at some point, and then decided to back it up, and maybe went a little early to back it up because they were a little concerned, and ended up taking Murray. And I get it. Like, Richardson had some struggles in the preseason. Whatever. Herbie Prieto, Tua or Geno today at QB.
Just saw Tua walk in. He's looking thick, baby. He's ready to go. He's ready to toss the rock. Let's go.
There you go. Tony Santos, Pickens or Neighbors?
Neighbors.
Harbaugh 11, Burrow or Stafford? I think we just did this, right?
Yeah,
I think Stafford is safer, folks. I'll be honest with you. I think Stafford's got all his
weapons. They're playing at Coors Field, man. Ford Field of the NFL. Let's go.
This is the best name of the chat. Cooper Van Hoosier, Yoshivas or Shakir?
I like Yoshivas. I don't know. I really want to see this Bills receiver room play out. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of confidence in Shakir this week. Do you feel like super confident in any of these Bills receivers week 1? I don't know. I like Kincaid, but
I feel confident in Kincaid because I think the Cardinals will struggle with him.
Yes, but I feel like the Bills want to run the football and give the ball to Kincaid, and then they just have this hodgepodge of receivers that are going to try to figure it out. I don't know. I feel like I want to wait and see with the Bills receivers before I put any of them in my starting lineup. And Yoshivas, look, he's going to start. And the Patriots, I just think Yoshivas, he's been, again, going back to who's been good in training camp, is Yoshivas. He was like highlight after highlight because he was there with Joe Burrow building that chemistry, and he was good at the end of last year. So I like Yoshivas.
That's like us, just building that chemistry every single week.
Building it up,
man. Building it up. Make sure you go and subscribe to the Betting Pros channel too. We got some hot shows there. Erickson and I broke the wheel with our week 1 early takes. Tomorrow we'll be recording our week 2 early line show too, with some good early lines, man, that we were jumping on. So join us, Betting Pros, again on the YouTube side. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to Stretch. Pick 2, Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery. This is easy. It's Mixon and Taylor.
Yes.
Let's not overthink this. Tuan Pham, good morning. Need 1.5 PPR. Jameson Williams, Jalen Warren, or Jordan Addison?
He needs 1, you said?
1.
JMO.
1 ring.
JMO. Let's go.
JMO over Jalen Warren. Interesting.
Yes. I'm ready to.
Your body's ready?
I'm ready for JMO to have a look.
We work
what if
with
one of
JMO.
these Lions receivers?
JMO actually works here at Fantasy Pros. A lot of people don't know behind the scenes. JMO, one of the leads here in the development side of things. So all those tools that you like so much, thank JMO for them. But the other JMO, the lesser JMO, Jameson Williams, hopefully will be relevant this year. Cautiously optimistic. All right. Now I don't know what's going on here, but John just sent me the most interesting bit of news that Tyreek Hill has been arrested near the stadium. This can't be true. Please, we need a source for this, please. John, I need a source for this. Somebody get Joey P a source. I don't want to torch people's faces. This has got to be one of those fake accounts, right? Come on, John. I know it's week 1. I know you're tired.
Is he trying to troll us?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't have anything on my phone. I'm looking right now.
I'm going to change a lot of DFS lineups if that's the case.
I mean,
Olakai, Burrow versus the Patriots or Kyler Murray versus the Bills? Kyler Murray.
Yes.
Not waiting. Anthony Rauch, Trevor Lawrence, or Jaden Daniels?
I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence.
All right. Have you seen anything about this Tyreek Hill stuff?
No, they're on NFL game day morning. They're talking about the Dolphins, Jaguars. Seems all hunky dory. Smiles. Steve Mariucci was chugging a gallon of milk.
All right. The guy that's reporting it is not so far is not one of my favorite sources for information. So I'm just saying, like, let's not go crazy.
I mean, when if he's inactive, then he's not playing in the game, because if he's not at the stadium, then he's not going to play. So, yeah,
it is a major source, but not a reliable one.
Is there a reason you're not naming this person?
Yeah, there is, and that's
okay.
why. Until it's an Adam Schefter or somebody like that reporting this.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get time. It's not like, I mean, who if Tyreek Hill was out, who would you going to pick up? Robbie Chosen? No, it's just more like it's maybe Johnny Smith is an option now, but besides that, nothing really changes. They're gonna run the ball.
How are you feeling about all your Jalen Waddle shares if this is true, Andrew Erickson?
That would be probably really good. I mean, I can't say I feel bad about it, but we'll see how this plays out.
And then some other things saying and Calais Campbell as well. So it's a lot to unpack here. It's a lot to unpack. I see a video. Again, the source is one that's not the first major source is not a major source that I have had good experiences with. Let's just put it that way. So
well, I mean,
look, we're
going to find out when the inactives come out in 45 minutes or so. And if he's inactive, then you can't play him. So if that's the case,
imagine arrested would be inactive.
Correct.
Like, can you make bail in 45 minutes? I don't know.
I mean, Tyreek Hill is fast.
Miami's a wild place. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's go to McFly Smith. Can't make this stuff up, man. Football is a wild game. It's Friday night in Brazil with a couple seconds left. We lose Jordan Love. You got guys slipping all over the place. Isaiah Likely is the greatest football player on the planet, and maybe Tyreek Hill got arrested. I don't know. McFly Smith. Anyone starting Travis Etienne? Yes, everyone who has him.
Oh my God, he's gonna.
What are we doing here?
Come on, I love him.
All right, next here is Dougie Yoon. Thoughts on DK Metcalf? He's a absolute start for me this week. No qualms, no concerns. I'm fascinated to see what happens here when it comes to when it comes to what the Seattle Seahawks offense might look like. Erickson, what are your thoughts here on DK this week and maybe rest of season too?
I don't love him this week in particular. I think that he has look, who's the best Denver Broncos player on defense is Patrick Surtain. Like, I think this could be a big JSN game. That's all I'll say. So I think Metcalf could have a down game. We've seen him have down games before. He's a receiver. It happens. So I'm a little bit lower than ECR on him. So yeah, I would not be surprised if JSN outscores him this week. So,
yeah, this is,
so is this building steam?
I look, this is a lot of multitasking for week 1 here for me.
I'm gonna do a quick search on my end as well.
But and Russell Wilson is also warming up, which I don't know why, because we were already told this morning that it was Fields. So I don't know what's going on here. This is madness. It's week 1. But apparently there's no reason of why this arrest has happened that we know of. If it is indeed true, again, the internet is a wild place. It's certainly the video certainly looks like it, but more to come, folks. Make sure you're staying with us.
This is absolutely bonkers. We just spent all this time doing all the analysis for months and months, and then Oh my God.
Can't make this stuff up, folks. All right, let's go to Ben's question. Will McCaffrey play? Yes, it looks like he's going to play. So yes, you're going to play him. But again, the calf and the Achilles, that's a lot.
McCaffrey.
Here's one from Michael. Dell or McLaurin in the flex?
Dell.
Let's go to Connor's question. M. Connors, Pickens or Jamar Chase? If you just don't want to deal with the Chase stuff, I would still play Chase. But
yeah, this is kind of the range where I still lean Chase. I don't feel like so confident in Pickens that I mean, Chase obviously has risks too, but I think I'd still play Chase.
All right. So Adam Schefter does have a status here. So here we go. Fields isn't 100% starting. Russell Wilson is pushing to play, even though it seems like it's going to be Fields. The Tyreek Hill stuff. So Adam Schefter, Drew Rosenhaus, I just left Tyreek and he is ready to play today. That's great.
He's going to get arrested after the game.
He was detained, according to Adam Schefter. This is a minute ago on the Twitter machine. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was detained by police today, entering the stadium for a driving violation per his agent, Drew Rosenhaus. But Rosenhaus said Tyreek Hill will play today. Well, that's good because I have a lot of Tyreek Hill lineups, so can't catch that cheetah no matter what. So he must have been driving like 100 to get to the stadium or something when they pulled him.
I mean,
over
he is.
him.
It seems. I mean, I guess it's not. I mean, yeah, it seems like he is kind of late. I don't know. I guess if you live like so.
Tyreek Hill, bro. Come on.
Why is he? Yeah, you're right.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, you're right.
It's Miami. I mean, it's not like he plays in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
He's like
a lot of nightlife in Green Bay.
He's like he does the Chad Ochocinco diet where he eats McDonald's before all the games too. And he's just like, you should have seen the drive-through line at McDonald's.
Man, it was Sunday. Drive-through line was long.
Had to get my Egg McMuffin. They stopped serving breakfast at 10:30 Eastern. I needed to get
Honestly, I'm just breathing a sigh of relief that he was. I mean, look, the driving violations are a problem. The NFL Players Union need to have a meeting with these guys and say, look, you're endangering public safety. You're endangering yourselves, your ability to make money, your career. I mean, look, I know it's cool. You got fast cars. You want to drive fast, whatever. But look, I mean, enough already with this. It's getting out of control. People have died. Enough of this. The players union needs to step in and have a big meeting with these guys and talk to them about this specific issue. But then there's a part of me that's also was grateful that that's all it was, because it's Tyreek Hill and you just don't know with Tyreek Hill. Oh, okay. Let's go to Freedom's question. Ford, or speaking of freedom, there's a transition for you. Speaking of freedom, Ford or Monty in the non-PPR standard league. Who do you want, Jerome Ford or Montgomery?
Non-PPR Monty, easy.
Gurman, Minhas, Ramondre or Javante at RB2. It's Ramondre.
What's the format? It probably doesn't matter. Yeah,
doesn't matter. Come
on. I know. That's what I said.
Shout out to Mike Mayer, by the way, getting us the information, because sometimes things are so crazy you just can't believe it. Rich A, Dak or Herbert today?
Ooh, this one's close. I'm just gonna fade Dak. I'm just gonna go Herbert.
All right. Pretty soon we're gonna pass you off to the Welsh. So for another hour of madness and answering your questions, let's go to Marlon Vega, Zamir White or Jerome Ford? PPR.
Ford. PPR, yeah.
Brian Wellsbacher, Christian Kirk, or no, wait, Captain Kirk. So wrong. I thought he was being funny about like name of Kirk. So I guess we're looking for Kirk Cousins or Stroud today.
Stroud.
Okay. Let's go to, oh no, maybe, all right, let me ask this just in case, because this question is weirdly worded. Captain Kirk, Christian Kirk, let's say, or Tank Dell. Who are you playing?
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell. Okay. Kyle Cabrera, full PPR, Pollard or Zach Moss?
Zach Moss.
You loving the Zach Moss. I'm still going Pollard on this one. Let's go to V. Hayes' question. Brian Robinson or Chase Brown?
Brian Robinson.
Jimmy DiNardo, my people. How you doing, Jimmy? Full PPR. James Conner, Mostert, or Jamal Williams. You get two to have. I want Mostert and Conner. Who do you want?
I agree.
There you go. This Tyreek Hill stuff is crazy. We'll keep you up to date here.
Dude,
so
this is wild, man.
I mean,
week 1 hasn't even started yet.
Hasn't even started.
It's already wild.
Over under on a rest for Tyreek Hill rest of season. Who knows? Can you bet?
I mean, hey, it's not too late to bet on that Jaden Waddle Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Remember we had
but
that a while back?
again, until like Schefter or Rappaport or one of those guys report something,
I mean,
I want to make
he's
sure.
gonna be fine. I think he's probably gonna play. I'm not.
It seems like
It's just
but
weird. I wonder what Mike McDaniel's gonna be like. Wait, what happened? Wait, what happened to Tyreek?
Mike McDaniel's, he's out there right now. He's just like hitting on a vape, just kind of like going, it's week 1, bro. Damn. He is. That's exactly what Mike's doing right now. Oh boy. Let's go to another one. Anthony Parker, Polk, Jalen Polk, or Yoshi Voss. I assume it's Yoshi Voss for you, right?
Yoshi Voss.
Tank Dell or Yoshi Voss from Tim
Tank
Nelson.
Tank
Dell. Let's go to another one here. Let's try Bid Moon, PPR, Keenan Allen or Brandon Ayuk.
Both guys are.
Allen's
Allen's dealing with an injury too.
Yeah, Allen's playing, but he's not healthy. I'll take my shot with Ayuk here.
Yeah, that one's close. I think Ayuk for me too.
All right, very good. Make sure everybody, as you're hanging out with us, don't forget Trophy Smack giveaway, the Wall Smack, 2 steps to win. Subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, ring the bell till it goes ding for notifications, and just comment on this video. That's it. That's all you got to do, and the winner could be you of the Trophy Smack Wall Smack, thanks to our good friends over at TrophySmack.com. Don't forget also, join our BP contest for Betting Pros. It's free. It's fun. Download the app. Go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Sync your leagues there. Sync your sports books if you have them, or just play in the fun of making picks. We're giving away weekly and monthly prizes to who picks the best when it comes to the NFL betting world. And of course, you're going to hang with us because in just a few minutes, we're going to change things over here to Welsh and Tom Strachan. They're going to be taking you through the next hour of madness. Who will get arrested? Who will get hurt in warmups? I don't know. Something's going to go down. I can tell you that. It's going to be a good time. Let's try to slam in a couple other questions before we go here. Bowers or Pitts? That's from Alexa.
Pitts.
There you go, Alexa. Dennis Mosher, 10-team standard. Should I start an RB or a wide receiver in the flex? Well, Dennis, it depends on which ones. You can't just throw it out there. Stafford or Daniels? Daniels for me. How about you?
Yes.
All right. If Tyreek doesn't play, does that have any effect on your Tua love today?
I have to look and see what Tua did against, because the last time we saw Tyreek miss a game, Waddle went off against the Jets, and I think Tua he still put up good numbers in that game. So, I mean, I think a little bit. I mean, I think you have to downgrade him a little bit because if Tyreek's not out there, but I think I'd still try to start Tua. I don't know.
All right. There you have it, everybody. Let's see if we can get one more in here. Let's find a good one here. A lot of stuff about Chase again. We'll keep you updated on Chase, on the Pittsburgh situation too. Here's one from Paul. Prescott, Mayfield, or Fields? Assuming Fields is the starter today.
I would go Fields.
G. Mendez, Joey P. looking fly. That's right. I got the consigliere look today. Again, you're going to get jacket every Sunday from me. Coming right from the TV, right to here. King Gusto, pick one. Chris Godwin, Brian Robinson in the standard format.
Oh, standard.
I'm
still going Godwin. Let's go. He'll score.
All right. Here's another one too. Trade Singletary for Pittman. Ed, if you could pull that off, good on you.
Yes,
there's no way anyone should trade you Michael Pittman for Devin Singletary. Let's go with another here. No. Kyler Murray.
Unless they know Pittman also was arrested and we don't know about it.
Somebody else get arrested. I hope that not. I hope that Welsh didn't get arrested on the way over here today. That guy drives like a maniac in his big old truck. People don't realize this about Welsh. He's got a big old truck he drives. Oh,
we got to tell Welsh about the Quentin Johnson prop too.
Oh, Quentin Johnson, 23.5 yards. Under. Let's go, everybody. All right, we are going to step away for just a moment, but don't forget, we've also got a lot going on here on the channel. We've got another hour of start sit questions. The Welsh, the Tom Strachan will pick up from here. Hopefully, nobody gets arrested in the break. Give us 1 minute. We'll be right back right after this.
Yeah, we're all passionate about fantasy football, obviously. But sometimes there is a little bit missing. What's missing? A team. But not your fantasy team. No, a team of like-minded, passionate fantasy football fans. And if that is not part of your everyday, Fantasy Pros Discord might be your answer. Chat with other fans, debate strategies, and find leagues to join. Every week, get your questions answered live in our AMA live Discord sessions. Want to know if you should start that sleeper or avoid a risky trade? Our experts, they're here to help. And if you got a question, You might even end up on a podcast. It's not just about advice, though. It's about community, with channels for every aspect of fantasy football, draft advice, waivers, props, to dynasty, best ball, and a ton more. You're going to find like-minded fans just like you. So join the best fantasy team. Join Fantasy Pros on Discord at fantasypros.com/chat today. Get your questions answered and connect with fans. Don't just play fantasy football, live it with Fantasy Pros on Discord. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Who the hell's getting arrested? What the hell's going on? I'm completely disjointed on what's happening on this Sunday morning. I'm Chris Welsh. That is Tom. It's Tom and Welsh in the house. Tom, what's up, buddy? Did you get completely shaken by the look of Tyreek Hill just on the ground being arrested? What the hell's going on?
I mean, you get to this point on a Sunday and you start to feel like you've got a good idea for how the slate's going to play out and how everything's going. And then all of a sudden you're going, okay, is one of my top 3 wide receivers for this week suddenly going to be taken out of everything? Do I need to change all my DFS lineups, everything like that? And yeah, but it sounds like he's going to play. So if he plays, I guess you've got to keep him out there and keep him ranked where he is.
Yeah, I mean, we planned all week long, not for a speeding ticket. That's what's going on. But glad to be here. Glad you guys are all here hanging with us. We're going to be answering your questions into hour 2 here for the live stream. So load them up. We got John on the 1s and 2s. He's going to be feeding us questions. Make sure you guys continue to rock with it. Tom, are you ready to just absolutely annihilate some questions here? By the way, Quentin Johnson, they're selling me on Quentin Johnson. Are you down with an under on Quentin Johnson this week?
I think I'm down to take the unders on Quentin Johnson pretty much every week.
Okay, me too.
But yeah, let's do it, man. Like, just hype that we finally got some games to start overreacting to.
I know. I've been overreacting. I've been very excited. I saved myself, by the way, from doing this on Friday. I wanted to tweet this out. But I kept it to myself, and I'll totally just keep it between us and 3,000 plus people. But can you imagine? Tom, I don't know where you had. I think you do the ranks on the Fantasy Pros consensus ranks. But tell me what all you peons were like to not have Saquon Barkley at least as your number 2 running back, because I did, and I'm the highest of any of our Fantasy Pros people. I just wish Joe, who had him, I believe, at RB5, or Erickson was here to do it. But can you imagine, Tom, not having Saquon Barkley as a top 2 back for week 1 like I did?
Well, let's just say the bookmark police came at me about a few tweets I might have said about Saquon Barkley this offseason. So, yeah, but it's all right. I'm holding firm. We'll see how it plays out over 17 weeks. But, yeah, he definitely wasn't the top 2 running back for me. But more than happy to hear he was for you.
All right, a couple updates here. I see John put in here that Rappaport was going on about the Tyreek thing. He was pulled over for a traffic incident about 1 block from the stadium, as you guys all know. He has been released. Several teammates saw the incident and stopped to offer support for Tyreek. And then there was another report on the Bengals situation. The Bengals and Jamar Chase not expected to reach a contract extension before the game. It is unclear if Chase will play today. Actives are in 30 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're hanging with us, we're going to find out in about 30 minutes if we are going to be having Jamar Chase or not. But a contract extension did not happen. Blah. Not good. Not good. And no T. Higgins. So wheels up for Chase Brown too. All right, let's get to some questions, Tom. Let's get to the first one here. This is from Leon the Gent. We got a tight end one. Freiermuth or Bowers, 0 PPR. So standard touchdown plays. Where you go? I think Bowers was 10. I'm gonna have the consensus ranks up, by the way, fantasypros.com/rankings if you guys want to look. I believe Bowers, unless he had moved recently, was sitting around 10. And Freiermuth, I want to say, was 11. I will confirm it right now. No, Bowers has moved down to 12, and Freiermuth is 15. So those are the consensus ranks. What say you?
Yeah, so I've got Freiermuth at 15th. I've got Bowers just slightly ahead of consensus at 10th overall. For me, I just prefer the game environment for Brock Bowers today. I don't think that Pat Freiermuth is set up for a great season with these 2 quarterbacks, whether it's Fields or Russell Wilson. And it just feels a bit iffy. You know, we saw in preseason that Freiermuth was leaving the field when they were playing 2 tight end sets. So if you're not getting somebody who's out there all the time, it's a lot harder to be a top 10 tight end. So yeah, a little nervous about Freiermuth.
Yeah, I'm with the Pitts one. I think it's a little riskier just because we don't know like the health, what type of limited snaps are going to be out there. We still also just haven't seen where his role is. He going to be end up playing like a slot receiver? You know, is this going to be like old school Mark Andrews? He's just like one of the primary slot guys in general. But I think the upside is too great. And exactly like you said, Tom Bogman's talking a lot about this. The 2 tight end sets, Freiermuth is coming out of the game. So like he's losing snaps. And it's also just an offense that's not going to be built around getting him massive targets. So I think the upside play is Bowers here. The consensus ranks agree. They do have him as a starter. Freiermuth is not. Dodo Bird, JSN or Keenan Allen? Keenan Allen been on the questionable tag, I think, all week long, but I think he's good to go. JSN or Keenan?
It's a tough one, this one, because I like the game environments for both of them. And I think, we've seen definitely plenty of stuff about how Tyler Lockett's banged up. But for me, I've not been buying any of the Fat Keenan narratives. I think it's kind of gotten overblown for a player who hasn't played a lot in preseason over the years to start judging him on a couple of snaps from there. And then one report which kind of caught fire and everyone ran with. Nobody was saying Keenan was fat before that point. So yeah, I've got Keenan Allen maybe about 10 spots ahead of JSN today, but I do like JSN and think that he could have a nice game too. I'd just lean towards Keenan.
Yeah, I mean, and you've had a lot of questionable tags on Lockett for this week. I love JSN. I love for him to get established in this game. I will say, though, the only like slight caveat to turn this is I just think one of my favorite props this week, at least in the touchdown market, was Ken Walker. I also think Ken Walker is just going to go berserk because this run defense has been so bad. And I'm not sure we have anything to tell us, especially from preseason, that it's gotten any better. So this could be like a heavy run-ish game. And I like the Bears today. I'm on the Bears side. I think Caleb is going to roll. And Keenan Allen, if you watch any of Hard Knocks, at least proved that he is a safety net guy. Like he is going to be Caleb's safety net guy. So, from a full PPR standpoint, I think I could get down with Keenan, but JSN would be my guy. By the way, are you seeing these videos that are out there? There are 400 videos of Tyreek Hill on the ground arrested. There's a video I'm looking at right now, Tom. There is a squad. It's like it's
for a traffic incident.
Like 12 cops, bike cops that have him on the ground. Was he driving 145 to the stadium?
Like it definitely looks pretty crazy. I mean, like obviously over here in England, we police slightly differently to how you guys do, but like it shouldn't take 4 police officers pinning a guy on the floor for a traffic violation like that.
There are so many cops that is wild. Did not have that on the card. Do we need to have like a police tag or something for a guy if they didn't play due to being like arrested before the game? I don't know. What a weird morning. Welcome to week 1, everybody. This is fun. All right. Let's see. Graham Gump says, good morning. Mostert or McLaurin full PPR?
Ooh. I think Mostert's one of those kind of sneaky plays. Particularly, I play a lot of DFS, and I think he's going to give you a lot of leverage in DFS because Achan's going to be pretty popular there. McLaurin, I've got a decent bit ahead of him, though, maybe about 7-8 spots in my flex ranking. So I'd lean towards McLaurin. I think that Washington-Tampa Bay game has real shootout potential there. The Washington defense is atrocious. We saw last year they were like 32nd in pass defense DVOA. So yeah, I'm all about that game shooting out. So I'd just lean towards McLaurin. Unless perhaps if Tyreek Hill gets ruled out, then maybe I'd pivot and go back to Mostert. Just on the idea that the passing game isn't going to hit quite the heights. But yeah, it's just McLaurin for me.
I'm actually really, really torn on this one because Mostert, when you go through like touchdown percentages, it was actually, I did a touchdown video if you guys saw it on BP. And I was going through 2 guys, Ken Walker and Gus Edwards. I love Gus Edwards today because I think if they are even in the 10, it's going to go to Gus Edwards. He's the guy. He had the 3rd highest touchdown share of running backs, touchdown percentage, and the 12th highest inside the 5 share percentage. I mean, it goes to him. Mostert was number 1 in that touchdown share, obviously because he scored so much. But like as much as we're going to see Devon Achane all across the field, if they get inside, it's going to go to Mostert. He's a touchdown monster. But if you are even remotely in the territory that Jaden Daniels is a top 10, because he got ranked pretty aggressively. He moved down 1 spot to 11 in the consensus ranks, but he was pushing 10. I think some people have him top 5. And if you think they're going to roll a little bit, it's going to be due to Terry McLaurin. So in this instance, I will go McLaurin just simply because I think he's going to have 9, 10, 12 targets. I mean, the ball is going to be flung to him all day long. Unless we get Luke McCaffrey becoming Puka Nacua today, I do think McLaurin is going to be the full go. And because this is full, if this were half PPR, I might give you the slightest lean to Mostert, but full, I am going to stick to McLaurin.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. And if it was, if it's standard with no PPR, then definitely I'd go towards Mostert with it.
By the way, Mayer had a good point. Mike Mayer, Fantasy Pros, Mike Mayer just put in a DM. One of the reasons is because this was close to the stadium, why there were so many cops. Still blows my mind. When you guys go and search these videos on Twitter, it's just like 50 of them. It's a brigade. It actually looks like Hell's Angels of cops that just pulled over, and is a wild scene. So, all right, more questions here. Life 38, full PPR, Chris Godwin or Malik Neighbors? That's a pretty good one.
Ooh, I like this one in 2 plays. Like I said, I'm really high on the Bucks in general this week because they're facing that Washington defense, but I've been pretty aggressive on Malik Neighbors this week. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm probably one of the highest on the expert consensus rankings. I've got him at wide receiver 9. I think that the environment for him is just perfect. You look at that Vikings secondary, and it is so many. The polite word would be experienced players, but the non-polite word would be a lot of guys in there edging towards mid-30s who might struggle to keep up with Malik Neighbors, and I think he's just going to have a monster week.
I really like that one. I do not have him that high, but again, like the narrative all offseason long, it's been what we've said. There's no other offensive weapons. Like that's actually why I love Daniel Jones, again, talking in the betting show side, but I love Daniel Jones' rushing yard prop this week because he's just going to go back to exactly what we've known running around. He has 2 weapons in this offense. I mean, there'll be somebody that steps up. The weapons are Malik and Devin Singletary. I don't know if we would use Devin Singletary as a weapon, so it's Malik Neighbors, but that's a twofold thing. Is he going to get 13, 14 targets, peppered, and what are those going to look like? Is it going to end up being like he has 8 catches for 58 yards because they have to do short line stuff, or is he going to break big plays? He looks like one of the most explosive players in football. I'm willing to put my bets on it. So to your point on this, like in a full PPR again, we're just going to see tons of targets. And I would not be surprised with how just not good of a quarterback Daniel Jones seems to be, that they're not going to want to, 30, 40 yards. It's going to be short line stuff, maybe wide receiver screens to get you have to get Malik Neighbors the ball. So that really works well. Benefits
particularly
for Malik.
Sorry, I was just going to say, like, we know Brian Flores is such a aggressive defensive coordinator as well. He's going to throw so many blitzes at Daniel Jones, and I think just getting the ball out very quickly to Malik Neighbors, and if Malik Neighbors is getting those kind of layup passes and able to break one with the secondaries moving down to help with the blitz, then it could be a really good day. Yeah,
so targets, Malik Neighbors. I think, by the way, if we didn't fully answer, Malik Neighbors, I think we're both going with that in there. Jesse Funk, another PPR, Keenan Allen or Christian Kirk?
Ooh, let me just double check where I've got Kirk this week. So I got Kirk at wide receiver 35, which is just around the same kind of range. I've got Keenan Allen at wide receiver 30. I think that both those games I really like for the shootout potential there. I think that Keenan Allen probably gets there on more volume today than Christian Kirk does. But I mean, Trevor Lawrence's splits are incredibly good when Christian Kirk's on the field compared to when he's not. So that's probably the tightest question we've had so far. My lean would just slightly be towards Keenan Allen because that's the game where I think the Bears have got the highest implied team total of this slate.
I'm going to slightly lean Keenan Allen as well. But like Kirk is a poor man's Keenan Allen. It's like the same vibe, lots of targets.
Yeah.
Not sure we're going to get any big play stuff. I the difference would be, I like Keenan Allen as a red zone option more than I like Christian Kirk as a red zone option. So that's what and where I would let that lean and push for me on that bad boy. Friends, we told you about it before. We like to give stuff away. How about with Trophy Smack? We've teamed up with our friends over at Trophy Smack to give away something truly epic this week, a large fantasy football wall smack of your choosing. These magnetic metal wall plaques aren't just wall art. They're statement pieces that let everyone know how passionate you are about fantasy football. Whether you go with the sleek floating style or the bold poster style, Wall Smack is a perfect addition to your fan cave. To enter, all you got to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now. Drop a comment below on any of our videos, and that is it. We'll be announcing a winner right here on the channel, so make sure you turn on those notifications so you can be notified and to claim your prize. Trophy Smack, not Trophy Snack. That would be a very good company. That will be their side company, the Trophy Snacks, where what is, by the way, your week one snack of choice for football, or is there one?
Well, I mean, over here I'm 5 hours ahead of Eastern time, so it's going to be right around evening time for me. So I'm making mac and cheese, like, go big.
I mean, yeah, you don't need to. Mac and cheese, good anytime. Good.
What about you,
Welch? Mac and cheese now. You know what? I don't know what it was going to be. I think it's going to be mac and cheese now. That sounds phenomenal. Just some good chips. I'm actually not like a big spread guy. Like if I go somewhere that does the food, I'll do it up. But I'm not a big spread guy at the house here. I get hyper focused. We're gonna do some vitamin water. We're gonna lock in.
That's it.
I've got partying last night, so
you got to get the multiple screens ready, taking as much as possible. No time for looking down at plates whilst you try to watch games.
Yeah, I don't have time to eat. I have no time to eat. I have time to analyze. John says he's doing ribs and mac though. Maybe the combo is where you do it. By the way, how many DFS lineups, Tom, did you do preseason, and how many are you running today?
So preseason, I didn't touch any. I stayed completely clean because I was just.
Or I guess best balls. I'm sorry, you're a best ball guy. I meant to say best ball for preseason.
So I think my final count for best ball was around 350 drafts this year. It was a little bit lower than it was a bit lower than last year. Yeah, man, like got to get busy. 350. So I think I had around 270 on DraftKings, and about the rest were all on Drafters and some on FFPC too. So it was a good off season, a lot of fun. Excited to find out how wrong I am.
Jeez, I mean, like you almost have more teams that are watching the live stream. How many? What are you on DFS today?
DFS. I mean, I tend to play like the 3 entry max contests or single entry a lot of the time. I do have some teams that I like that I threw into some of the low stakes, slightly bigger. But yeah, mainly 3 main teams, and the main one out of those is a Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin buck stack, and just let's ride that all day.
I was you're gonna be like, oh, just like a low total of like 74. I'm like, gee, good lord, man.
No, not quite like that. Yeah,
good for you. I'm not. I have some best balls, but I don't have. What was it? 300 and what?
It was about 350.
It's crazy. That's a wild number. Chat.
And do you want to know how many times I drafted Austin Eckler?
Oh, can I take it? Like, let me give a percent share. 18%. So I don't how many. Like, let's say. Oh, sorry. I should give you a number. 50 times.
0. That's,
Zero.
Probably the hardest stance I've got this year. It's Brian Robinson season.
I think you're going to regret that. Can anybody beat Tom? Does anybody have more leagues? Chat, let us know. Is anyone come even close? And it would have to clearly be best ball because that is a wild number.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying that many lineups.
Even my boy Justin, if you guys saw the video, Justin Steele, Cubs pitcher, not even close to that. So can anybody beat Tom? Let us know. All right, let's get back to some questions. Aaron asked Superflex, Fields, Stafford, Geno. I think we're still waiting on this. Another weird situation that we've had that Joey and Erickson were talking about was this like Fields versus Russ. Russ is trying to push to play. So I don't think we have exactly what's happening. So maybe you have to put that in here, or maybe you just have a lean either way. But Fields, Stafford, Geno.
Yeah, so at the minute I've got Stafford just ahead of Geno. So Stafford's my QB 16, and then Geno's down at about QB 20 for me. Fields is the one that, yeah, as soon as we get the news, I'll probably make a call on it. But I imagine he's probably going to end up about QB 14. So I'd be okay pushing in the chips on Justin Fields. But if you want the safer option, I think it's Matthew Stafford. So
I'm also going to read this as like, because it's a super flex, he's like, what 2 do you start? So would you go Stafford's the no-brainer here? So between is it just Geno for the safety, and if Fields is active, that's a no-brainer?
Yeah, and I do like Geno for this week, but I think for out of these game environments, that the Broncos are more likely to suck the air out of the game than either of the other teams that those quarterbacks are facing. So if Fields plays, then I'd just give that lean towards him as QB2.
One piece, I guess this came out a tiny bit ago, like really right before we came out, just leaning up on the Jamar Chase stuff. One positive thing, that report whatever it was, like 20 minutes ago, that there was no contract agreement and his status is unknown. There is a video. This is from Bridget Condon, who is an on-air with NFL Network, that Jamar Chase is on field working. I mean, he's in like shorts and stuff as everybody is, but he was on with all the guys kind of doing warm-ups and stuff like that. That seems like a good sign if you're kind of scared of Jamar Chase.
So we've got some contract stuff that's just broken from Adam Schefter. Dak Prescott signed a 4-year, $240 million deal with the Cowboys. So that's definitely close to the wire, but I kind of thought that one might not happen.
231 million guaranteed. Holy crap. Okie doke. So big money. So how about them paychecks is what's going down in Dallas. That's a big number. Not the contract that anybody wanted to see. You wanted to see Jamar Chase, but we'll continue to follow. I think we're 8 minutes away right now from the inactives being reported. So we'll have some news for you, hopefully breaking on Jamar Chase, and, hopefully Tyreek's out of the lockup or whatever the hell is going on. All right. Rodimus says, got Achane and Mostert, start one or play one. Start both or play one and then put Ridley in. So this is really Achane, Mostert, Ridley, half PPR, start two.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be weeks where I'd be open to starting both of them. In my flex rankings, I have Raheem Mostert 61st and Calvin Ridley 60th. So it's really difficult for me to make that call. I think I would possibly just side towards the Ridley side of it. Welsh, you were a bit higher on Mostert than me in general. Would you go with him?
The problem is we also have to see DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins banged up, dealing with this like potential MCL tear that he's playing with. I mean, he looked questionable. If he's not in, then Ridley's the guy today. Half PPR does make it dicey. I think I'd be pretty comfortable going Ridley and Achane in this one. I mean, Mosert's going to score 3 touchdowns because of that, but I can't bench Achane. And when a guy to me is kind of solely built around touchdowns, and I have another guy that's a target play, like I want to go with the target play because I think not only will I get volume, but I also have the opportunity for a touchdown. I just don't know what that looks like with Mostert. I mean, we do know what that looks like last year, 20 touchdowns, but I just don't know if that's going to be this year. So I would go Ridley and Achane in this one. Is that what you said? Or did you say?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's just a slight lean to Ridley over Mostert. But yeah, I think like the weeks where I'd start both Mostert and Achane would be those weeks where the bye weeks start hitting and it forces your hand a little bit more.
All right, we have a piece of breaking news. It is official. Justin Fields is starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Get him in the lineups. Justin Fields the ranks are not going to help you here because everyone's going to have to adjust. Justin Fields was QB 27. Now that he is a starter, Tom, where is he going to go? This is official. I think you were saying it earlier.
Yes.
Top 15.
Yeah, I'm going to put him up to QB 14. I've just adjusted mine and updated to the website now. So he just slots just ahead of kind of Baker Mayfield, just behind Tua for me.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at this. Man, I think you can justify top 12. I'm probably going to put, I really like Caleb today. I'm probably going to put him right around that 14 area. So I don't think it matters where Tom and I necessarily have him, in that he is going to be an almost consensus top 15 QB now for this week. That's where it's going to go. So, if you're in a super flex, like that question we had before, it's not even a question now. Enjoy your Stafford and Fields and, reign supreme for this week. But, it is tougher if you've got Tua or you've got Justin Fields on what to deal with, but Fields going to run. Like he's going to run a bunch. And the big play is more in play today with a guy like George Pickens. You could have some better potential big plays. So it's top 15. And if you've got a tough decision, you could play it safer, but the Tua, Stafford, Mayfield area, if that's what you're dealing with, Fields theoretically might be a better option. So,
yeah, and I think it's, if we had a better idea of what this Pittsburgh offense was going to look like under Arthur Smith, maybe you'd be able to push it a little bit further. But how much of it runs through the running backs? Is Pat Freiermuth going to be involved constantly or coming off the field? And outside of George Pickens, there's just guys who are very hard to have any faith in, which is why I just keep him just outside the top 4, the top 12. But I mean, if you're a Justin Fields truther, then by all means, go with your gut and say what you believe with him, because we know how high the ceiling is.
100%. All right. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Shane says Jalen Warren, or they just said Warren or Robinson. So I'm going to assume this is Brian Robinson and Jalen Warren. At full PPR, though, it still feels like Brian Robinson, though.
Yeah, I think with Jalen Warren coming off the hamstring injury, we see particularly at the running back position reoccurrences of those, like Brian Robinson for me by probably 7 or 8 spots.
Okay, so we're both there. Evan, full PPR, do I go Ramondre or Javonte? What do you think?
Ooh, I like that one. That's a tough one for me because they're both very similar range in my rankings. I think I'd lean towards Javonte. The Steelers one, if Jamar Chase is limited, then it just becomes a little difficult to see lots of points being put up on the board in that game in general. And Javonte is probably going to have a slightly better points total on that game, I would imagine. So I'd just lean there.
I lean Ramondre. So we're not helping you too much. The Ramondre is still a big force of that offense. I like him on both sides. There's still a question: is the matchup could play well? You have what Joe and Erickson were talking about in the first hour. You've got like Jaleel McLaughlin, who is going to play some type of a role in here. So I don't really foresee anybody taking shares from Ramondre where I do with Javonte. So I'm going to go with Ramondre. Cowboy says Dak or Burrow. A Cowboy questioning Burrow or Dak.
Ooh, I mean, that's two environments which could be slightly bumpy for fantasy points. I think this one comes down to, if Jamar Chase plays, I'd go Joe Burrow. And I think that you'd see the man on the mission kind of game from Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow there. But if he doesn't, then it becomes Dak for me.
Yeah, I'm a Burrow guy here, but if Chase is out, I'm not a Burrow guy. So it's pretty simple. Like, what is he doing? It's Gesicki? I don't know. So yeah, Dak would be your replacement if there is no Jamar Chase, but it is leaning. It looks like it's leaning. We should get some notes here very shortly. Half PPR, Montgomery or Ford? This is from L. Robinson.
I quite like Montgomery this week. I think that he's got a really nice matchup. So I'm just looking where I have Ford. Yeah, I'm a few spots ahead on David Montgomery. I think that game in general, there's going to be plenty of points on it. I think the Rams defense is going to be good this year, but I'm still expecting Montgomery to have goal line work for the Lions. I don't think that's going to have completely gone to Jahmyr Gibbs. So I just lean towards Montgomery by maybe 7 or 8 spots there.
I want to say Ford. I really do. I almost had him as a prop this week. Dallas actually surprisingly does give up some rushing yards. Ford is the guy. He's also going to catch out of the backfield. But I just don't I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland doesn't score any points this week. And maybe that's being dramatic. And I know they're a favorite. So Ford, I think, is a solid play. The Montgomery side to this is I think it's the highest total of the week. So it's highest implied total. If they get into the red zone, we know exactly where Montgomery is going to start getting into play, no matter what Gibbs has done. Very high likelihood for Montgomery touchdown this week. And again, that's like a weird play here. I do think Ford has a better potential for touches, but Montgomery's are going to be more impactful. So I'll lean Montgomery. And if you care about the ranks, 20th in half PPR on the consensus ranks for Montgomery, 27 for Ford. So
yeah, and the Browns' offensive line's just so banged up at the minute that I kind of want to see how some of these players that are being pushed into slightly different roles or playing injured before I kind of feel real confidence in that running game at the minute.
Yeah, and I can see Browns fans would be mad I said that, but it's just Watson's not good. The other pieces, I got Mark Cooper, love Mari Cooper, and I like Jerome Ford and Njoku. I have shares of. Deshaun Watson's not good. And if he proves to be good this week, great. We'll turn face on it, but he was not. And I'm not going to bet on that. That is still one of the weirder lines to me this week was, at least I haven't looked this morning, but Browns favored, I think 2.5 it was over the Cowboys. And I just didn't vibe. I actually teased that Cowboys team up. You can tease them up to 8.5. That's ridiculous. Anything over a touchdown, Cowboys versus Browns, is a ridiculous tease piece if you care about that.
It just seems like maybe we're giving a little too much credit to the Browns defense. And I know they're still a really good unit and there's still a lot of really good players there, but we see defenses regress so often year to year, and they were really special last year. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they did drop off slightly this year. And I didn't realize that the Giants were, dogs in that one, but I'd be open to taking the Cowboys there, even at 2.5.
Yeah, it's still 2.5. All right. Let's see. Half PPR, Robinson, Singletary, or McLaughlin. So Brian Robinson, McLaughlin, I feel like isn't in this territory, so we're gonna eliminate him. I mean, you can tell me otherwise if you don't feel that way, but this half PPR, Singletary, Robinson. This is Singletary for me. Singletary is going to be the majority option of what's not great in New York. He can play. He can be a 3-down back. He will be volume. I don't know what that volume will look like, but it's gonna be volume. I'm not 100. You're anti-Eckler. I'm not anti-Eckler. So I don't know if it's, 20 plus touches for Robinson. This is pretty easy Singletary to me, though.
Yeah, this is easy for me as well. And again, we talked about like how the Vikings defense could look to be aggressive, and one way to beat that is to get the ball in the hands of a running back and to get through the line of scrimmage and start to force them to defend differently. So yeah, I'm in on Singletary. Jamar Chase is officially active.
Boom. When did that who reported it?
That's Tom Pelissero from NFL Network reporting it. So now becomes the question, how high do you rank Jamar Chase this week? I've been quite hesitant on him after he's been in and out of practice. I think I've got him round about wide receiver 20, which doesn't feel particularly great, but maybe I'll nudge him up some here.
Okay, well, you bring up an interesting thing, because as soon as you said that, I was going to be like, what does it matter? Like, it matters to us who are ranking on the expert ranking platform, so we can be the number one ranker of the week. To people listening and playing, like, you play them. Yeah, but if you're putting them in the 20s, you are opening up this opportunity to say, like, hey, if you play in a 2 wide receiver format, maybe Chase isn't someone you're going to want to play. It has the vibes of Ayuk. Like, I don't really want to start Ayuk this week because he's going to be on a version of a snap count. He's got a horrible matchup on the corners. Like, I think you can find plenty of other options, but in a 2 wide receiver format, I will probably have Chase right around that 12 area, because I'm trying to dictate. I'm not starting him, but if you have him around 20, someone legitimately might have, let's say, Chase. I'm just looking at the wide receiver ranks, Waddle, and then maybe they have Neighbors, and then down here it's like Terry McLaurin. If that's the case, where is Chase in that wide receiver core for you? Is he the 3rd? Is he after? I mean, you have Neighbors at 9, so I purposely did that. So.
I've got Waddle ahead of Chase in my rankings at the minute. I've got Waddle at 17th because of that kind of shootout potential that we've got there in Jacksonville. So I think in that situation, it becomes the Jamar Chase versus Terry McLaurin one, and I probably would still lean Jamar Chase there. Like, benching Jamar Chase in week 1, it's just not going to feel great.
Yeah, I think you can get him in, but I mean, it's kind of a tough one. Well, guess what? Tough ones, no challenge for us with my playbook, my friends. Yes. Are you confused who to start? Worried you'll make the wrong choice? Let us do the work for you and take the stress out of lineup management with my playbook's autopilot tool. Said this before with my playbook. It's like having Fantasy Pros analysts by your side. Autopilot makes it easy to manage your fantasy team's lineup, get suggested lineup changes via email, have us auto swap inactive players for you. That's the worst. That is the worst when an inactive player happens, like right at the end, they get arrested or something. Or you can turn on our full autopilot mode to have your optimized lineup set automatically each week. Use autopilot at fantasypros.com/myplaybook or on the Fantasy Football My Playbook app for both peace of mind and the best shot at victory each week. Set it and forget it. That's right, my friends. All right. Questions. We will start to move into a little bit more rapid fire. I want to make sure we are getting all of your guys' stuff here. Joseph says, Murray or Goff today? He's torn.
I really like Kyler Murray this week. I think that environment's really fun, and I think that Kyler Murray is going to rush for a lot more yards than we did even last year when we saw him averaging like 30 rush yards a game off the ACL.
I like Goff. I mean, like, hand up, I'm going to completely admit, I think the Cardinals are going to be trash this year. But I'm a 49ers fan. So, and I also live in Arizona. So, like, I extra hate all of that. And I'm not as much of a Murray guy. My thing I would just kind of lean back to, highest implied total in that Lions game. Goff's going to sling it. So 3 touchdown day? Like, I don't know. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these. You have the rushing upside for Murray, but I think if you piece together some of the betting side of this, like, Goff is a decent play. And I'll tell you, this is very contrary to what the ranks are saying. Kyler Murray is 7, Jared Goff is 11. If you want, like, high upside, it's Murray, because Murray has the rushing. He could throw for 250, 2 touchdowns, and run for 100. I think there's a slightly lower ceiling, but a much higher floor with a guy like Goff, where it's like 250, 2 touchdowns. That's just every Sunday, for Jared Goff. So I lean a little bit on that side.
Yeah, and I think if you've got a scoring setting which rewards passing touchdowns like higher than normal, then definitely I could see the Jared Goff side.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah, if it's like 6-point passing touchdown. We have a lot of Jamar Chase stuff in here. This is a good one. Mark said Justin Fields or Daniels.
Ooh, I think I'd just lean towards Jaden Daniels there, just because of what I talked about before, that I feel like there's good shootout potential in that game in between Washington and Tampa Bay.
Samesies. Cody says standard, so no PPR. Pick 2 flex, Pittman, Laporta, and Khalil Shakir. That's pretty easy, Pittman and Laporta, right?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think that Pittman, I'm a little lower on him than most people this week, but it's still clearly Pittman over Shakir.
Brandon says, good morning, bros. Flex half PPR, Deontay or Brian Thomas. That's a great one.
Ooh, that is a great one. I mean, Deontay for me is 65th in my flex rankings. Let me just double check where Brian Thomas, is a good chunk further down. I think like you're just kind of waiting to see on it. I think Brian Thomas's upside is clearly massive, but I would probably go with the established veteran in Deontay Johnson there.
Yep. We know like where the volume is going to be. We could have big, huge plays for Brian Thomas, but we're just a little uncertain. It could be Xavier Worthy, but we're just not sure. I would lean on Deontay. Breaking news: T. Higgins inactive. He is officially inactive for the day, with Jamar Chase active. So we know we are without Higgins for sure. Jamar Chase is a go, and DeAndre Hopkins officially active. So maybe puts a little bit into that Calvin Ridley question from earlier. Like I felt better if maybe Hopkins didn't play because we just know his comfortability with it. Because what was that one? That was Ridley versus Brian Thomas, I think earlier.
It was a flex. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it was. I know it was Ridley versus Raheem Mostert, wasn't it? So I think it kind of stays about where I probably had it before for me.
I'd probably lean back to Mostert now with the John Deere Hopkins active. It was that much of a swing. Like that's how important it can be. All right. Joseph says Tony Pollard or Brian Robinson in half PPR. That'll probably be the last Brian Robinson question I answered.
But that's probably Tony Pollard for me.
Pollard as well for me. Jerome Ford or Mostert full PPR. This is from Jonesy.
I think I'm leaning towards Ford there. I do like Mostert, but I think it's still probably Ford on volume. But it's not an easy one. How about you, Welsh?
Full PPR, that's like that slight lean where I feel comfortable Jerome Ford getting a couple passes out of the backfield and volume. So I think I would lean Ford. Mostert is the toughest one for me this week because like implied touchdown equity, he's like number one. Like it's him and David Montgomery. Those are like the top 2 guys where it's like, try to convince me that they're not going to score a touchdown, because both of those offenses will be humming. They both get the goal line stuff. It's just that it's really difficult. I think Mostert is like hands down the toughest to rank this week, at least in my eyes. And he sits right in that David Montgomery range. Speaking of which, let's go to a different one here. There's this load of like Montgomery and Mostert questions. I could have transitioned that like beautifully how it's set up, but I didn't want to do that. Let's see. Jennifer says Brandon Cooks, Gabe Davis, or DeAndre Hopkins. Doesn't give any other specifics though.
I think I'm going Hopkins there. Like I think Gabe Davis has got a nice game environment, but it's obviously very boom or bust. I think that one's Hopkins for me. I've got more confidence there.
Now that he's active, I'm going to go with Hopkins as well. I don't love the rest of the group. I mean, I think there's an argument for Cooks in some of that, but yeah, I don't. Not in love. God, you guys have so many Brian Robinson questions. It's berserko. Cody says, would you start Pickens over Ayuk knowing he's going to have his snaps reduced full PPR? Yes.
Ooh, I think that's a really good one. And like, I wasn't overly high on George Pickens this offseason, but they're right around each other in rankings for me. And if you drafted George Pickens, you got to have some faith in him that he can deliver. It's what you drafted him for. So yeah, I'd lean towards Pickens.
Gotta have faith. Pickens. Yeah, I'm just avoid Ayuk in general. If you have a viable option, I don't need Ayuk this week. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. But it's just like, this is not the week. Ayuk, I think, if anything, is going to be, I don't want to call it like decoy because they're not going to use him necessarily in that. But like, he's really good blocker downfield. He's going to take up that sauce space when he's out there. So I think in that respect, he's a really good decoy like that in the offense where they can get Devo the ball in open field, try to get some yak. I don't love them trying to stretch him out with missing all the time that he did. Best time of his life, not playing in the preseason. Jordan says J.K. Dobbins or Rashid Shaheed at flex half-point PPR.
I think I'd just lean towards J.K. Dobbins. I think, we've got to play Dobbins whilst he's healthy. He's healthy now. The team seems, much higher on him than you possibly would have expected given the contract he had. So, yeah, just a slight lean towards Dobbins.
Big Dobbins guy here. So even though I said Gus Edwards is my touchdown play, I think it is Dobbins a lot on middle downs. If you have a 10-play drive, I wouldn't be surprised. First play is Gus. First, maybe player 2 is Gus Edwards. J.K. Dobbins comes in for the next 7. And then if they're in that goal line spot, bam, it goes to Gus Edwards. I just like Dobbins to be kind of that like open field player. So I love Dobbins for a little bit more volume. We have George says Chase Brown or Tajay Spears, and it looks like this is full PPR.
I think I'm leaning towards Chase Brown in that situation. It seems like the Bengals really want to make it happen with him, even if Zach Moss gets the early run out here and gets more touches to open the season. If this game script goes the way that we expect it to, with the Bengals winning easily, then Chase Brown could be in line for a lot of second half touches.
Also, Chase Brown, I'm not letting I'm not going to let the depth chart affect me. I'm not sure there was a single player that was more affected by depth chart than Chase Brown. Chase Brown, everybody loved him. And then they listed Zach Moss as the RB1 and everyone's like, nope, see ya. I don't care. I would go with Chase. Tajay Spears is also, a solid play. Like you can see one of those open field things, the spell back. If Tony Pollard is the first 4 or 5 plays and Tajay Spears comes in and you get a defense that's tired, Tajay Spears is going to beat you. So, there is an excitement there, but I would go on the other side with Chase Brown. Z Zulo says, morning boys, pick 2, Brian Thomas, Ladd McConkey, Curtis Samuel, Kyle Pitts. This is PPR.
So I think Pitts is probably the first one who I'd be definite on. And then what did we have after that? We had Brian Thomas,
Curtis Samuel. It was Brian Thomas, Ladd, Curtis Samuel, and Pitts.
I think I might lean towards Ladd McConkey there. Like, I'm not a huge Ladd guy, but I think that this week that kind of sets up quite nicely against the Raiders. I
am leaning. I'm sorry. What did you say? You said Pitts and McConkey?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go Pitts as well. I'm going to go Brian Thomas because I know we had an anti-Brian Thomas. I think there's also like a question of what Ladd is going to be from a volume standpoint in that offense, which is going to lean more run heavy, has Josh Palmer. I like the big play potential a little bit more on Brian Thomas on that one. Let's see as we keep moving here. How about we got the Dak contract stuff in here. McLaurin or Cooper, full PPR from Ryan?
I think that one's probably Amari Cooper for me. It's the revenge game against the Cowboys. Amari's the top 20 wide receiver for me this week. Terry McLaurin's kind of like in that wide receiver 3 range.
We have, looking at the ranks here, Amari Cooper is 24 and McLaurin is 27 on the consensus ranks. I'm good with Amari. I also said they might not score any points. But Amari Cooper is the guy. He is the volume guy. Theoretically, Jerry Jeudy, we don't know if it's going to hurt or help. I think maybe helps a little bit, has more defensive coverage open up. Maybe that gets Amari Cooper just a tiny bit more of a window. But I wouldn't kill anybody for starting McLaurin over Amari Cooper. Yeah. I think they're in the same tier. I think was what's important to me. They're not like in separate tiers. So we'll both go with Cooper. But right there. Mike says Cortland Sutton or Najee Harris. Most likely flex here. Let's just assume half PPR because we didn't get that.
I think if we're going half PPR, then I'm probably going to lean towards Najee Harris. I think with Jaylen Warren coming off a hamstring injury, that he could see a lot of touches today, particularly if the Steelers are leaning into the run.
Also, Najee Harris. I'm a little scared about the Steelers' backfield situation and what Cordell Patterson's going to do to Jaylen Warren, to Najee, and how that's fully going to play out. I don't know, but I will go with Najee on this one. Friends, there is still time where you guys can get in on our NFL contest. Oh, yes, you can do it. Join our NFL podcast group today. Users can join the group by visiting the community tab on Betting Pros. That's right. This is the Betting Pros NFL contest. You can download the Betting Pros app, go to the community tab, or you can check the link directly, bettingpros.com/NFL contest. I am in there. Joe is in there. We're all in there, and you can join up with us. You can sync your picks or use the quick pick feature on Betting Pros app for a chance to win free weekly and monthly prizes. You can elevate your betting strategy and join the conversation today at bettingpros.com/NFL contest. And I try to tell everybody this as well. What's cool about that, you can if you're like new to betting or you're scared, you can go and quick pick and you can track your own betting. That's one of the coolest things about Betting Pros as well. You can use this to hone in the skills of your game by not actually putting your money down. You can say, this is what I would do. You can track it. And that still is good for the contest. And you can use the quick pick feature and you can really hone in and figure out who are you as a bettor. It tracks all your markets and stuff. Go and check it out. bettingpros.com/NFL contest. And just download the app. You can follow me, bettingpros.com/Welsh. Got a lot of props going today and you can track all the fun stuff. All right, Tom. It's rapid fire time. It is rapid fire time as we end out here. We are closing in on about an hour till kickoff. So let's hit these bad boys and go. Full PPR flex, Amari Cooper or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore all day long. Douglas, Herbert or Tua?
Tua.
Tua, definitely. TJ, I think I said Douglas last time. This is TJ. I have Higgins out. I have Judy on the bench, or should I go after Palmer in PPR?
I think I'd go Palmer.
Palmer over Judy, right?
Yeah.
What about Slovis, though? That was also the other option.
Sorry, who?
Yoshi.
Yoshi. Yeah, I think Yoshi's fine, but I'd probably still go Palmer.
I would go with Palmer as well. Another Judy question. That's so interesting. Let's go James Cook or Puka. That is from Certified Jub Step.
It's Puka.
It's always Puka.
I mean, yeah. It's got to be Puka.
It's Puka unless it's like 9 other players in the NFL. So Ashton says half PPR need an RB2. Chase Brown, Tajay Spears, Jaleel McLaughlin.
I think it's Chase Brown for me.
Chase Brown. That makes sense. That's where we were. Stafford or Trevor Lawrence by Andrew?
I think I'm probably Trevor Lawrence by a couple of spots there.
Trevor Lawrence as well for me. Half PPR flex Pickens or Ramondre Stevenson?
I think I'd just lean towards Ramondre.
I'm going to go volume with Ramondre as well, but
less volatile.
That one makes me not feel as comfortable. Yeah.
I think,
Nick,
sorry, not to change the quick draw format, but if you're in a bit of a deficit from the Thursday and Friday night games and need to shoot for upside, then I'd go with Pickens.
That's a good point. Definitely a good point. But also make sure that deficit isn't like, I guess it is. I was about to say like, I went up against Rashee Rice and whatnot and start to make silly moves. But if you went up against Rashee Rice and Saquon Barkley, you should probably attempt some Hail Marys at this point. Ish, if you're trying to win the week. It's still going to be a rough go of it. Nicholas said, any concern even as Fields starts that he has a short leash if Wilson is close? That's actually kind of an interesting aspect to it that Russ was trying to play. Here's my only caveat I would say is if Fields was given the go, if you're talking about this game having a short leash, I think they're having him start because they do not want Russ to play. I guess the answer would also come in, was Russ put on the inactive list today? I didn't see that.
No, I saw that it was Russ. Russ was definitely out, but I didn't see whether he was active or not. But
he is. No, I see it. He's on the inactive list. Russ is inactive for this game. So maybe you were asking a deeper, longer season question. Yeah, of course. Russ is going to start when he is good to go. I think they've proven that, unless Fields goes bonkers. But today, that's not, because at least I see in a couple different spots that Russ Wilson was put on the inactives.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's so headstrong that I think it's going to be incredibly difficult for his mind to be changed anytime soon. I think we definitely see a prolonged period of Russell once he's healthy.
All right, Ryan S. said, hey, pros, who do I start at flex, Kirk or McLaurin? I'm going with McLaurin. This is full PPR, by the way.
Yeah, I'd go McLaurin.
All right. Start Kyler or Justin Fields? Still go Kyler. right?
Yeah, Kyler
Yeah.
for me. Just it also comes down to just better weapons.
PPR flex spot: Singletary, Addison, or Sutton.
Singletary for me.
I will go also Singletary. JC, Ayuk or Tank PPR? Absolutely Tank.
It's Tank. That one's not even close.
Yeah. Tim the Fat Dad, Caleb or Tua, and you get half-point rushing first down.
That one pushes it even more towards Caleb for me. I mean, we know he's not as much of a dual threat as Jaden Daniels, but it's a guy who averaged over 7 rush attempts per game in college. So yeah, I think that's a great format for Caleb.
Addison or Brian? I said Caleb as well. I really like Caleb, and that weird like extra thing that really benefits Caleb. Addison or Brian Thomas from V Double?
I think I'd probably lean towards Addison there, but again, it's like I just don't really have a good feel on what Brian Thomas's week one stuff's going to look like. Whereas Jordan Addison, I think this is a good environment that game. So yeah.
I think they're super, super close. I'm going to go with Brian Thomas on that one for a little bit more of that upside play, but you also know what Addison can do. So it's in play. Dobbins or Brian Robinson? I did another Brian Robinson question, of course.
I'm going to lean Dobbins, just sticking with kind of a feel that I have on the Brian Thomas stuff.
Love me some Dobbies. Tajay Spear. We already did that one. Let's see. This is an interesting one. Ayuk or McConkey? That's the first one I've seen where it's not like, don't do Ayuk. I'm like, maybe. You talk yourself into Ayuk? Or you kind of like McConkey, though, this week?
I like McConkey, but not over Ayuk, I think. McConkey, you're looking at a game where he gets 5-6 catches and ends up sneaking into the end zone. Maybe Ayuk can get there on a couple of big plays, and even if he's not playing every snap, then maybe that one is there. But yeah, I'm Ayuk there.
I would. This was one instance. I know it's rapid fire. I actually kind of want to look here where Ayuk is 25 on the consensus ranks, and McConkey, where are you? He's 49. Holy crap, he's 49 on the consensus ranks here. So even the scaries of Brandon Ayuk isn't taking people away. He's like at least a flex option. So I don't care what the ranks say. It's not going to make my decision, but Ayuk was already kind of the guy would lean on that. So that's the first time we both said Ayuk. So there you go. A lot of Jamar Chase in here. Jamar Chase, Chris Godwin. I almost don't want to answer any more Jamar Chase ones because we kind of did it. But here's like a pseudo one. Jamar Chase, Chris Godwin. Is that going to take you off? It's not going to take me off of Chase. Is it going to take you?
No, and even with me really liking that game environment for the Bucks today, it would still be Chase by probably 4 or 5 spots in my rankings.
Okay, actually, here's a good one. I'm assuming this is a flex thing. Jeremy says standard Chase versus Mostert.
Ooh, I mean that's a really good one. And I don't think the rankings would have them particularly close necessarily, but I think I maybe edge towards Mostert in standard like that.
I just don't know if Chase is going to be limited. I'm going to just go Chase. I'm not going to get too cute about it.
Yeah.
I'm still ranking him as a wide receiver 1, right around 12. I'm just not going to get cute. I'm going to do it. But that is the question where it's that's touchdown equity. So you could do it if you wanted to. No one would kill you for it. Nico Godwin or Singletary PPR?
Nico Godwin or Singletary? Nico for me.
Yep, Nico as well. A lot of the same questions. Chris Godwin or James Conner, full PPR?
Chris Godwin for me.
James Conner, full PPR. Yeah, Godwin. Dang, I want to say James Conner. I think Conner's gonna have
love James Conner.
Yeah,
I think for me in terms of if I was going purely off flex rankings, I've got James Conner maybe 7 or 8 spots behind Chris Godwin. I'd just lean towards that. Yeah.
Let's see. Dak, Stafford, Trevor Lawrence by Rico.
Dak, Stafford, Trevor Lawrence. It'd be Trevor Lawrence 1, then Stafford 2, and Dak 3, I think, because I'm just not high on that game environment being particularly fruitful this week. But I don't think there's any real wrong answers there.
An interesting note in there. Yeah, I agree with you, by the way. I would go, if anyone cares, I'd probably go Lawrence on that one. interesting-ish note that was just out there. Jalen Wright, healthy scratch week 1. Probably expected, but just want to throw that out for the Mostert and Achane people that Jalen Wright is not going to even be out on the field. So there's nothing, no shenanigans are going to happen. And we're just trying to avoid shenanigans. I was about to do a Super Troopers bit, but not going to do it. Have you seen Super Troopers?
Of course.
Yeah. Shenanigans. Oh, the stuff on the wall. Yeah, it's just Super Troopers all day long. Ken Walker or Javonte Williams. Oh, Ken Walker.
Oh, yeah. Ken Walker, big week.
I have him at 7, I think, this week. So it's absolutely him. Ayuk, Aaron Jones, or Tank Dell. Ooh, Aaron Jones for me.
Let me just double check where I've got Aaron Jones. I think I'd possibly lean towards Aaron Jones on that. Well, wait a minute. Aaron Jones has already played.
No, it's the Vikings.
Oh, Vikings. I'm still on the Green Bay days. My God,
you had me absolutely worried. It's week 1. I was like, is there a game that I did? No, I know what you mean. Yeah, Josh Jacobs played.
Yeah, Aaron Jones with Vikings, not the Packers.
You stopped my heart a little bit there. I was like, what game happened? Yeah, I would go with Aaron Jones. I love Tank, though. I love those two guys. It's a great situation to be in here.
Yeah.
Burrow or Caleb Williams by Mason?
I'm Caleb Williams.
Ooh, I would go Burrow still, especially that we have Chase. But I do think Caleb's going to have a good day. But I'm going to lean on Burrow. So go with your gut, Mason. Do I drop McLaughlin for Fields? I have Jaden Daniels as my QB1. I think we both still lean Jaden, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to stash Fields, then I don't mind that. Like, if it's a league where your teammates, your league mates are going to be trying to grab Fields, then it's worth grabbing him now rather than having to wait and see. And if he goes off today, rather than having to fight out on waivers, there'll be more opportunities to pick up McLaughlin because it's probably going to be a slow and steady climb for him.
This is a great one. Gus Edwards or Najee Harris at flex?
That's Najee for me.
It's Najee, but my favorite touchdown play of the day is still Gus. So just going to put that. I mean, but Gus might have, 7 points today. It might be 8 carries for 12 yards and a touchdown. So I'll go with Najee for the volume. Christian Kirk or Amari Cooper as we are ending out here.
That's Amari Cooper.
That is also Amari Cooper. Swift or McLaughlin, half PPR?
Swift. I mean, McLaughlin's trying to get to the point of the job which Swift already has, the lead in a committee.
Agreed. Nico Collins or Cooper Kupp? That's I suppose an interesting one. I'm Cooper Kupp all day, every day this week, but
so let me see. So I have that's my wide receiver 12 in Cooper Kupp and my wide receiver 11 in Nico Collins. So I just lean to Nico Collins, but flip a coin on that one.
Let's see. Dylan said Brian Thomas, Keon Coleman, or Losivas in the flex. Brian Thomas. I've kind of leaned that way.
I don't mind Brian Thomas. For me, it's Brian Thomas or Yoshi. I don't think I'd put Keon Coleman in there.
Keenan Allen, Rome, or Sutton, half PPR?
Ooh, I think I would be Keenan Allen here, mainly because I just really like that game environment.
I would also go with Keenan on that one. That one's a really tough one. All right, I'm going to just try to do a scroll just to get 2 more in here. How about, Palmer or Waddle? That's an easy Waddle, right?
Yeah, easily by a long distance.
By a lot. How about Drake London or Waddle, full PPR?
Ooh, that one's going to be Drake London for me, but I'm a bit of a Drake London slappy and have been on that train all off season. So probably by about 2 spots in my ranking, I've got Drake London.
All right, I'm doing a big old scroll. Singletary or Zamir White? Just trying to look for a couple guys we haven't mentioned.
I mean, Zamir White's a tricky one, isn't it? Because of all the Alex Mattison stuff. I've definitely cooled on him a little bit over the last few weeks. I think I'd just lean towards Singletary.
I think I'm going to lean towards Zamir White on that one. That one's close. Addison Eckler, PPR. It's going to be Addison for Tom, right?
It's Addison for me.
I'll go Eckler. I'll go Eckler in the full PPR. He has less than 4 catches. Be shocked this week. So there's at least 4 points. And that might be 4.8 points, though, on the day. All right. Last one. How about this? San Francisco defense or Cincinnati defense? Someone got my attention. They put the fire emojis in there. I hate to fall for emojis from you guys, but you got me.
Yeah, it's going to be the Bengals for me. I mean, I don't think that they're as good as the San Francisco defense, but against Jacoby Brissett, yeah.
It's 100%. Yeah, I'm going to start. I mean, the Niners might shut down the Jets, but that's a better matchup. Stream your defense. Always stream your defenses. Don't pay up. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. 2 hours of this bad boy in here of answering your questions. But a reminder, as always, if you guys are still having some of those questions in, with my playbook, you can get those answers. Set it and forget it. Optimize lineups each week. It literally is taking in all of our Fantasy Pros work, putting it in together, and it's going to give you answers. Yes, you might not have mine or Erickson's or Tom's or Joe's, but you're going to get everybody's combined. So go and check it out today. Download my playbook. If you haven't, sync your leagues and get all of this customized device. It's never too late to sign up as well on the full premium side of it. Go and check that out. Do it. You can go over to BP also and check out our NFL contest, bettingpros.com/NFL contest. And as we mentioned before, leave comments on videos and win the Trophy Smack, not Trophy Snack, Wall Smack. Just subscribe, comment, and you can win free fun stuff. You guys killed it. Tons and tons of things here. It is insane. 2 reminders right now over on Betting Pros. You guys can go and hang out. We got Matt Peralt and Pat Fitzmaurice talking about props. If you also want props, Joe, Erickson, and myself on the Betting Pro side, we did our top props of the week. You still have time. It's like a 25-minute show. You can go and get your top props in. And later tonight, I will be live with Mr. Scott Bogman. We are going to be breaking down. We got Deepak Chona to talk about all the injuries. Oh my. We're going to be breaking down and reacting to week 1 right here on the channel. So make sure you are subscribed, put on notifications. We like to give stuff away on those, but we will be reacting and breaking down all of the craziness that is week 1. Hopefully no more arrests. People don't speed and it's all normal, no injuries, but we will be here for you right here on the channel. So make sure you guys are locked in. Thank you guys so much. It's time. Go enjoy your week 1. For Tom, I'm Welsh. We'll talk to you next time right here on Fantasy Pros. Peace. Bye-bye.